There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frankel and Frankel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frankel first.
And you, with so many people looking up to you, advocate legalization of pot. And I don't get it. I mean, I've seen video of you smoking a big fat doobie. I mean, I've read your lyrics. I know what you say in your songs. But when you hear stories like the mom and the dad on the front porch, the baby dies in a fire, then my next story. Everybody, that's 2 Chainz's Twitter account. That's him smoking pot.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. I never listen, I'm gonna listen. I wanna listen to the Dumb Zone.
Hey, everybody. Whether you're listening on the podcast, perhaps on the Patreon app, maybe you're watching on YouTube. We're on YouTube later. I mean, I guess we're on YouTube now if you're watching on... We're not on YouTube later.
Yeah, to us, we're not on YouTube yet. But to the viewer or listener, we are.
Right. We potentially could have been on, like, last week. Like, if you're watching us now. Something. I don't know. Anyway, we've time traveled.
Like, they could be watching an episode from 2 weeks ago.
How about this? Perhaps you're watching us on KDFI, Channel 27, which is not More 27. It used to be called More 27. Wait, no. It's not My 20. It used to be called My 27. It's now More 27.
I don't think this is going to make it.
Oh, it will. Because this will make people remember.
Okay, good point.
You're supposed to mess up your live reads, mess up your show, and then people will remember it. Like, don't show up for a SNL fantasy draft, and people will remember that.
Yeah.
Show up and just...
do what you're told. No one remembers that.
No one remembers that. What if we stayed at the Ticket in Dallas? Would people remember? They wouldn't remember us.
We'd
they wouldn't
still
even
be
know.
the lame midday show.
Yeah. Now people will remember. Hey, remember when they used to be somewhere in Dallas? Where are they now?
Which we ran into in Cleveland.
Anyway, so we are in our Dallas studio today. We actually have a guest coming up, but we also should introduce. So Jake's not here today. It's I'm Dan McDowell.
I'm Blake Jones.
And look who's to my left. We recognize this man.
Danny Balis.
Danny Balis.
Danny Balis. Danny Balis.
Of media. What? How do we introduce you? Guy?
Most recently known
New father.
as of Severance.
New father.
As a baby.
Not the show. The 3-month package I got after getting shit bagged from the freak. 3 months.
That's pretty sweet.
It is.
Yeah.
You got fired, huh?
Mm-hmm. Along with KT and Mike Soroy and others.
Oh.
Just about 4 months ago.
From what I understand, KT still works at the Freak.
That is weird. How did he maneuver that?
How do you not still work there? Anyway.
They really wanted to get rid of me.
He must have stabbed you in the back.
He got fired and then rehired like the next day.
Yeah, likely.
So, yes, we are on every night.
Yeah.
So far this week.
Every weeknight, right?
Every weeknight.
Yeah.
Sorry, Monday through Friday. KDFI, Channel 27. More 27.
It's not Moss 27?
I don't know.
Is that a different channel?
That's probably different. No, they totally are a lot of English.
Is it the Mavs channel that is
I don't think so.
primarily a Hispanic station.
Oh, I don't know.
When the Mavs go,
I'm focusing on KDFI More 27 right now.
Yeah.
Not on all the other spare sucky stations.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to focus on the best one so that perhaps they will continue to promote us and we will grow beyond our wildest dreams. In fact, you say they are promoting us now? Do you have that promo, Rob? I haven't seen it yet. Apparently, we have a promo, and we're ready to review it right now. Before we get into Cowboys and football of the day, we should review the KDFI promo, and we're playing it now. Should we do a promo for Channel 27 right now?
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to DZTV.
Boy, this was well thought out.
It's the Dumb Zone on TV.
That's right.
Like you've never seen us before in HD?
We're in
Or
HD.
did they put us on the old thing?
No, we're on HD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah. So that's our promo.
Okay.
Jake's not
Look how
even
great
in it.
Jake looks on HD.
We're wearing makeup now.
Okay.
Oh, that's our promo. Okay, now back to us.
Yeah.
Back to live or on tape, but we're on. It's Thursday.
Watching that, I would have expected nothing more. That's the
Quality
paper
stuff.
right there, man. That is endorsed by the Dumb Zone.
That is
Well
quality
done.
stuff right there.
It's a cool deal. So this is nearing the end of the first week of this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, again.
About halfway through.
And it's a half an hour.
Yes.
Every night at 9, right after GMFB.
And right before last call with our buddy Steve Noviello.
That's right.
You know,
Good dude.
in that promo, and I believe Steve said it on his show, everyone is saying, it's the Dumb Zone, but it's actually like a smart play. I think they don't know that we're just dumb.
Yeah, they don't. Everybody's like, oh, these guys are so self-deprecating.
The promo, if you were just listening to it, said, so smart, it's dumb.
Yeah,
but
listen for 5 minutes.
I think they're, yeah.
You realize we're not. We just got back from Cleveland. Our nice trip to Cleveland to watch the Cowboys destroy the Browns and give me my only win of the weekend.
Oh,
for all the game picking and everything. And while there, I saw this in the grocery store. Kosar coffee. Bernie Kosar, former quarterback of my childhood Cleveland Browns. He was my hero because he was gangly. He was not athletic at all.
Unorthodox.
Threw kind of sidearm. He didn't look like an athlete, but all of a sudden there he is leading the Browns. And I thought, that's my guy. I also don't look like an athlete. So we all identified with Bernie. And now, of course, he was released by Bill Belichick when he was the coach of the Browns and picked up the next day by his former college coach, Jimmy Johnson, who was the Cowboys coach. And I believe, released on a Monday, picked up on a Tuesday, started for the Cowboys that Sunday. Did you know this?
No.
Because
what year?
Troy Aikman, don't know. Go to ProFootballReference.com. You'll probably see when his career changed to Dallas. They usually list those things.
Did you notice that's enhanced with vitamin D? Your Kosar coffee there.
Well, so Bernie. There's a little thing on the back of it that he signs, and there's a little picture of Bernie, the great Bernie. I saw him on the sideline before the Browns game because I had a media pass. Browns-Cowboys game this past Sunday.
And he handed you a bag of coffee?
No, actually, I just saw this in the grocery store, and Rob said, you have to buy it. And so I didn't want to, but he was right. I had to. At the back of it, it says, Kosar Coffee, quote, going natural saved my life. That's why I am excited to introduce you to a game-changing coffee that can help you tackle your health head-on.
Jesus.
Tackle,
I got it.
Football. He played football.
No, we all got it.
Yeah.
Introducing Kosar Coffee, a unique blend infused with vitamin D and resveratrol.
Is that what Trump was trying to treat COVID with?
Ivermectin, I think.
Okay.
The powerful antioxidant found in red wine. This combination is designed to boost your immune system, strengthen your heart, and enhance your overall longevity. Having been on death's doorstep.
Oh, no.
Due to severe addiction.
Oh.
I want to know more.
CTE.
Oh.
Obesity and seizures. Pro Bowl NFL quarterback Bernie Kosar knows something about playing offense. Quote, "This coffee is more than just a morning boost. It is my first step on the path to a healthier life. Champion your health and that of your loved ones with Kosar coffee because you matter."
How does he know he has CTE? Don't you have to die to get diagnosed officially?
Are you arguing with Bernie Kosar?
That is
a man who could be released on a Monday and start for the Cowboys on a Sunday and win.
I loved him back
They
in
won
the
that
day,
game.
but that paragraph is 100% bullshit.
No way, man. I'm so pro Bernie.
Okay, so you drink.
I believe once he did a Browns preseason game. Everything in my life seems 5 or 10 years ago, so I'm going to say it was 5 or 10 years ago. And he was sloshed, as they say. Do they say sloshed? Sure they do.
Yeah.
He identified as being obese in that paragraph.
Sounds like he was dealing with a lot.
Do you recall him being Fat Bernie?
No, he looked
At any
great
point?
when I saw him this past weekend.
Well, hence the coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just think what you could look like after a month of starting every morning with a hot, fresh cup of Kosar coffee.
This is going to go on the shelf of destiny, or whatever we're calling the shelf.
So this says that the Cowboys signed him to back up Jason Garrett.
Oh,
who
Aikman was already hurt?
Yeah, so Aikman was hurt. Jason Garrett was going to start, and Bernie was going to back up Garrett.
Uh-huh.
But this says after an inefficient first 9 minutes of the game against Phoenix, they bench Garrett. That's a short leash.
9 minutes?
Not even a full quarter. Get your ass out.
That's awesome.
Gosar came in, did great, did really good in the championship game. And then, yeah, I think we said this last week, but he knelt down to close out the victory in the Super Bowl that year.
That's right. He invented kneeling.
What a guy.
And then Colin Kaepernick would take that to the next level.
And look where it got him. You're not drinking Kaepernick coffee, are
No.
you, Dan?
He's not going to live that long, like Bernie. Bernie will be 150 years old just drinking that coffee. I'd like to start today with some viewer mail extra. Today is Thursday, 9/12. Goes the reason yesterday was 9/11.
Did you forget?
Did not.
You
We
guys
forgot to do a show.
Took the whole day off to commemorate the
That's
historic day, didn't you?
Next year, we have to do a show from the 9/11 Memorial in Grapevine. In fact, the guy who owns that restaurant, emailed me quite some time ago, and we just never got it together.
Yeah, that's our bad.
We wanted to wait for a round number. Next year will be the 2025.
Yeah.
And then it'll be a 24-year anniversary, and that's a lot cooler.
Kobe.
Kobe. So what these are do you know we have a fascination with 9/11 memorials?
I'm learning.
Okay. So in the past, it all started because Jake lives near the 9/11 Memorial in Grapevine, which is in front of a Tex-Mex restaurant. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've seen.
It's
Showed me photos of it.
It's a strip mall.
Yeah.
In fact, we have a photo of it in here somewhere.
Yeah, above you.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you see it?
Uh-huh.
In fact, at some point, we're going to be moving all these over to our beautiful wall. Take a look at our beautiful wall. ProSlat is who brought us our beautiful wall. We have a downtown Dallas studio, and this wall used to be a field. There used to be nothing there. And now look at it. It's a beautiful wall. ProSlat. So ProSlat, they are people who can help you make your dream garage. They'd put this stuff all up in your garage, and then apparently these thingies. What do you call the thingy that you stick right in there? Hook. the hook, well, it doesn't look like a pirate, the end of his arm. It's just straight. Anyway.
It took a little longer than 5 minutes to realize why the show is named as it is, but
yeah,
they can help
There
you
you go.
turn your messy piles of stuff into an organized oasis, and that's what we're trying to do. In fact, can you see, I said in fact like 7 times today. Don't let me say that anymore. Give me the shock collar. Do you see over here, this is the piles of stuff, piles of crap, piles of junk. This will be an organized oasis when we're all done, and your garage is probably the exact same. So search ProSlat. I don't have their website in front of me or anything.
Take a guess.
PROSLAT. So
Google.
ProSlat is on the way into town. They're going to have a brick and mortar place, and they have a grand opening like September 28th. It's a Saturday, a couple weeks from now, and we're going to be out there doing a show. So thank you, ProSlat.
You can actually go to proslat.com.
Well,
Dan.
there you go.
No way.
I know, it's crazy.
I got a website?
Who are the ad wizards that came up with that domain name?
I mean, I just went to our salespeople will put like copy in here, and it just doesn't have the website on it. Look what Danny has brought to the table.
There's a reason why you brought me in.
It's amazing.
This is unbelievable. He was able to search.
I know.
On his phone.
You know what's cool about...
Thanks, ProSlat.
Real quick, one more thing about ProSlat. So they specialize in getting your garage all organized.
Yeah.
And it makes sense because they do have the slats where you put the hooks in and you can get your chainsaw and your hammer, and they're really high quality, heavy duty. But dude,
oh my God,
wouldn't you want this like in your living room?
Yeah.
Can you imagine like how your flat screen just mounted on that and some artwork and stuff like that? That just looks so much better than just a blank wall.
I want it on
or
the
a
inside of my
painted
car.
wall.
I wonder if they would do that.
They might.
Could hang your Apple up.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude,
eat that apple whenever I wanted.
ProSlat. It's not just for garages.
If you have a garage or a new studio that you want to do your show from,
or a Shannon Sharpe fuck room, you can.
We're gonna get to that later.
Get ProSlat.
That's a tease.
Thinking ahead, guys.
But some 9/11 follow-up. Hello, Uncle Muff Maestro. My local Gold's Gym has group fitness classes, which are a fun way to be social and get in shape or whatever. However, they do this 9/11 workout every September 11th. Here's a picture. It is it's a 2,001 meter row and 9 exercises for 11 reps each. What a fitting tribute to all those who lost their lives. Musan from Nick.
It says at the very bottom, jump out of a 90-story building.
Jesus.
Huh.
And then the workout's over.
Then no more pain.
Taking a flight on 9/11, Cynthia writes, taking a flight on 9/11, I won't lie, it was a little weird. Attached is the memorial that greeted us at the San Diego airport. Also, there is a memorial stair climb at our Marriott Hotel on the harbor today at 4:30 local time. Never forget, Cynthia, the Fort Worth girl. And finally, Armin, Chris writes, thought you boys would appreciate the creativity being displayed all around the Metroplex. Salina hay bales painted so that we never forget. And they are red, white, and blue. It says USA, 9/11, never forget, on the hay bale. He said he's seen these in multiple locations. That's Chris Menegay. Gay. Oh, and he says, of course, I forgot to so he sent another email like an hour later. I forgot to ask for a birthday shout-out for my daughter, Andy Ray. She's 6 today. I might have forgotten her birthday, but I'll never forget 9/11 thanks to the hay bales.
Who is forgetting? Like, who are they reminding?
I don't know, people with Alzheimer's.
Like, we still haven't forgotten the Alamo. Like, we're not going to forget 9/11 for a long time.
Do we have any olds that could tell us that Oh, do you want to grab our guest? Who's getting the guest? Yeah, you want to grab the guest? We actually have a guest. And I forgot he was there because he's supposed to be here at like 12:30. The guest is KT. KT Kevin Turner.
Who got fired the same day that I did.
He did, but he's working there again.
Did he get escorted out?
Anyway, he's the guy that...
We'll find out in a minute.
I put him in timeout in the green room because he didn't show up to our show. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Remember, like, he thought that was penalizing
us? He really stuck it to it.
Oh, man. That's going to really hurt their ratings?
Yeah, I want to get to the bottom of this because I know that you guys have a little bit of a...
Do we have ratings?
A little bit of conflict between the two of you.
Well, he's coming in. We're going to talk a little football.
It's a him.
This is Kevin KT Turner walking in the studio right now. Kind of like... Is that walking or... lumbering into the studio here, and he sent us, he told me not to listen to it, so I didn't. He sent us his own introduction.
Okay.
Everyone's always asking, hey, why do they call him KT? Well, it's because his name is Kevin Turner. That's right. His first name starts with a K, and his last name starts with a T.
Kevin looks like every Red Sox fan.
Wait, you said you were sending a funny open. Is that the other? Did you send a different email?
Nope.
Kevin.
No.
Kevin.
I thought you guys would like that after you were dumping all over.
What?
Censoring myself now because of the TV thing. Congrats, guys.
You're not going to make TV.
Yeah.
No. That's fair.
Blake does all the editing.
Yeah, he does this every night.
God,
Yeah.
so mean all the time. Y'all censored yourself the other day.
Oh,
funny.
shit. I'm sorry about the thing that I said earlier about Shannon Sharpe's room. I forgot TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to make the TV.
Probably not gonna make it
if
either.
you say the F word.
Fuck.
You guys were making fun of the broadcasters who were like, the A team. They like to use that. They like to go short form. BJ, you know what I'm talking about.
Totes. Old KB and EA and TR and TV.
So Kevin Turner is here. He has a podcast as well.
Do I?
Are you still on the radio?
Let's promote that.
I am. Oh yeah. Okay. Should I? I should promote the radio thing so I don't get in trouble.
I'm not really concerned about that. What about the podcast?
Podcast is the One Star Cowboys podcast.
Okay, because it used to be about them Cowboys.
Yeah.
Big fan. I love that show.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. No, I would listen to it every Monday.
Oh, thank you. Well, it's the same show. It's just a new name.
Yeah.
Now.
It's like on The Wire when they changed the name of the heroines from like red tops to blue tops. It's the same shit.
Oh, was it
just-
really?
Yeah, just different marketing.
Yeah.
So to get maybe a broader audience.
Okay.
Oh, this
Well, I
is
think
new.
theirs is because The Athletic doesn't want to do podcasts anymore.
Yeah, the Athletic. I don't really know because they don't pay me anymore. But they were like, we're like, hey, you can still do it, but we have the rights to the name. But if you guys want to go do it on your own, go ahead. So the One Star Cowboys podcast, and we do like 3 or 4 episodes a week. It's a lot of fun. John Machota, Kent Garrison, Sod. You guys know what's up. It's fun.
That's a freaking silver and blue brain trust, man.
Those guys know way more about stuff than I do.
Why are you on it?
Because I think it's for the humor.
Again?
He couldn't even get through it.
Again, I ask.
Yeah, they say he's the host, but then they have like another guy who's kind of the host. So I never really understand. I like the podcast. I like their content. But just like so many things that KT does, it's just a little confusing. It's just I just can't follow it. Like Kent would introduce everything, and then he introduces everyone, and then he goes, well, here's your host, Kevin, KT Turner. And I'm like, okay, but you just did all that. You just did all the hosting. And then...
Or maybe he Ed McMahoned.
Yeah, I don't know.
He did the introduction, and now they bring on the host.
Yeah, it's
Star,
confusing.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look,
Takes it from there.
I don't know, we don't need to worry about roles and labels,
I was trying to tell Danny that we have a... you invited me to be in your SNL Fantasy League. And that I didn't show up because I did something actually really funny. and then you, to pay us back, didn't show up to our show the next day because that would really hurt us. And then today, so that's why we put you in a pre-guest timeout in the green room. How did you like the green room?
I love the green room, but I can't tell you how many times it crossed my mind. It's like, are they going to leave me here for an hour?
Well, I forgot. We forgot you were there, to tell you the truth.
Because I've got to go to my day job after this. I'm going to be speeding up the tollway, just enraged because I got double pranked again. But the thing about this,
why didn't we think of that?
Just leave
him in there for an hour.
funny.
How great would that be? And bring him in for 5 minutes. God damn.
But think about though.
See, you got good bits.
Well, this is the thing because I was driving home from work. We were doing the draft that night, and we'll I guess talk about that in a minute, I guess. But like, I was listening to your show, supporting your show, and driving, and then we're just kind of throwing it out there a little bit that I may skip the draft tonight. And even the guys on your own show thought it was a dick move and not funny. And then when you log on, I didn't think for a single second that you would actually do it. And then you didn't show up.
Well, I didn't mean to, but Spinks called me like a half hour before the draft. He's like, man, I'm stoked on SNL. I'd love to do this. And I'm like, really? Let's go. And of course I did. I watched the whole thing. I sat there. I was texting with him the whole way.
Yeah, you were available.
Yeah, I was available. I could have been on.
The roles could have been reversed.
We could have just had the...
Like you could have been on and he could have been watching at home and texting you.
Like
have a seat there. Here,
I equated this.
Let's bring in. We got a sit-in today. He's a little late. We didn't make him sit in the green room though. He is Robert. Yet here you are. What do we got there? No, I mean your jersey. Oh, we got a Wang. A Wang Zhu. Wang Zhu.
Yeah, there's more than one jersey.
We have both bought that. Well, thanks for coming. We made KT sit in the green room for like 15 minutes. But
Well, thank you. I'm sorry to be late.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
He's probably important and stuff.
Yeah, he's business guy. Look, he's got business clothes under that Wang jersey.
Wang shirt on.
That's for sure. I'm sorry, KT. Go on with whatever you were saying.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Oh, so
Dan was watching the SNL fantasy draft on his computer and adding comments and stuff. But he could have been there.
He could have been there. But whatever. And I faked like I was mad. But then and then you asked me to come on and talk about it.
He was so mad.
I know. Steaming.
He was so mad.
I was
fuming.
How many times have you seen me mad in my life, Danny?
At 97-1, a bunch. Well, I was there. Maybe things are different now.
I did punch a hole in the wall one time.
Uh-huh.
But like I didn't
have enough Metallica tickets or something.
I thought that I would ghost you, but I was gonna show up and do the hit, but I got bumped for I think VJ Boyd, which is worthy. So once I got bumped, I was like, I actually do have to go to my job, so I'll just parlay it into a double.
Apologies to Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one wanted me on the show anyways. It's fine.
Oh,
No, we love you.
Planned a lot around you. This Kevin Turner story is brought to us by Lone Star Beer today.
What?
How about Lone Star Beer? So here's in there. Let me give you some copy points. The national beer of Texas.
Of course, everyone knows it.
The national beer of Texas.
That's not a cop. That's true.
Yeah.
Like I just think of Rust Cole and True Detective just pounding those big Lone Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrating 140 years of brewing in Texas. Brewing.
What other Texas brewery can make that claim? Right?
None.
If I'm looking at their copy points, they want us to mention they're authentically Texan. So we're getting that. Mm-hmm. We're getting it. They're Texan. But one of them says, I mean, obviously crisp flavor, great beer. We love to drink it, but it says awesome merch. I'm like, is that a copy point? And apparently it is.
Well, I think they proved it.
So they brought us. So today, Robert and KT, we have got you some Lone Star beer, the National Beer of Texas T-shirts and hats. In fact, I'm going to throw one of these guys on right now. You think I won't?
No, you
No,
won't.
I know you will.
No, you won't.
And they've also helped the studio out. They're helping to outfit the studio.
God, you look cool bald, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm going to shape this into my head.
Like, I've never been afraid of Dan. Well, why would you be? But he looks kind of like he'd mess you up.
Little Walter Whiting
energy. A little bit.
It's a great skill that those of us who are going to have to deal with that, fear and envy.
Yeah, I'll just keep getting laid when I'm 70.
We're very excited.
1 or 2 more kids while you're at it.
Why not?
Hey.
One of our newest sponsors, Lone Star Beer. We have we're collaborating, We have a paid partnership with Lone Star Beer, and in fact,
big reveal.
We have a big Lone Star Beer sign.
And you have a drum roll, Rob?
Rob does not have a drum roll. Let's see. Yeah, go ahead. Let's take a look at the Lone Star Beer.
Woo!
There you go.
All right.
Yes, sir.
So thanks to Lone Star Beer for supporting your friends here.
Their sign has a lot of lumens.
Love neon lights.
Hashtag advertisement.
And that's not fake neon. That's real neon gas, right? It's not like that mom game thing we had in here yesterday. That's real.
So KT invited me to one more. I told you guys I'm on, let me count them here. I'm in 9 different either fantasy leagues or knockout leagues or whatever. And Blake knockout league. I'm in 4 different knockout leagues. I don't remember why we were talking this weekend, but then you were like, hey, you want in one more? I got this cool knockout league. And it's what is it? Kicker? It's like a kicker knockout league. So you just have to draft a kicker every week. And if your kicker misses a field goal, you're out. Kind of.
It's weird.
You're then like in probation, and if he misses another, you can't pick the same kicker. Does this seem like something KT would be involved in?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's incredibly confusing.
I don't follow any of what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. This is a KT thing.
This is not my thing, though. The SNL thing, full ownership over that. And you guys exaggerate how weird the rules are. The rules are very simple. And Danny's the defending champion in that anyways, and he wasn't asked to come back for the next season. I didn't think he would want to.
I would have done it in a heartbeat.
Why didn't you do it? Why didn't you come back?
He just said he didn't ask.
There's a part of me is a little scared of Danny.
Oh, my God.
Same.
Okay, so this is not my thing, but I think Skin was in it, and then Skin was like, this sounds like something you would like, and I actually absolutely do. But they have weird rules. We're supposed to be a survivor league. A guy misses the kick. If your kicker screws up, then you're out. But they have a thing where you get a mulligan, and then there's another level to it that I don't even fully understand yet. But I was sweating on Sunday because I had Chris Boswell of the Steelers, who made 5 field goals. No, he had 6 field goals and a 56-yarder and a 57-yarder. And I'm just cussing Justin Fields to like get a little bit closer, and then they're settling for field goals. It makes you real nervous. Like Justin Tucker missed on opening night the extra point. You saw like 4 or 5 names get eliminated, but not eliminated. That's where it's confusing. It's fun, though.
Yeah, I had Brandon Aubrey, and they were about to trot him out for a 71-yarder.
I've been thinking, he's almost the most trustworthy guy and also the least trustworthy guy at the same time, because they will let him kick from 74 on Sunday if they have the chance. Like, they'll let him shoot that shot in the dome on Sunday.
I do believe he will set the record for longest field goal at some point, just because of that.
At some point this year or just in his career?
I mean, we can guess this year. It's all got to just be I just think he needs the chance. I just think if he had a chance to kick a 67-yarder, he will make it.
Yeah, he made 66 with ease.
Yeah, they would never give anyone else a chance usually. And that's the tough thing about this.
Did they ever show a perpendicular shot of the goal post on the 66-yarder to see how much clearance he had? Because I don't think
that's
they did.
That's a great point. Yeah.
It looked like maybe there was 4 or 5 yards.
It hit the bottom of the net, it seemed like.
Did it?
So he had a few yards.
Okay.
He was in studio here.
Why didn't they let him do that? Why didn't they let him at least try? I'm sure you guys talked about this already earlier in the week, but
Run back or block.
Let him try the 71?
yes, especially because it's not like he missed the 66 and it fell short.
Mm-hmm.
Even if he has the same amount of leg and it doesn't get over, it's just going to land harmlessly right short of the goalpost and probably dribble out of bounds.
Or the idiot coach could have called a timeout.
I think I later heard
It's true.
that somebody on the sideline was just kind of in Bones' ear saying how windy it is down there.
The punter. It was Anger.
Was it Anger?
Anger's the one who called it off. And they were having trouble with the kicking ball or something, communicating, getting the kicking ball on the field at the time, too.
Mm.
But it still stands. You have 2 timeouts left. So if you really want to kick it from 66 and just try to make it again, call the timeout.
And
I
they
don't
have a special-
understand how the coach doesn't know how many timeouts we have.
They have a special ball just for kicking?
I didn't know that either.
Kicking ball, yeah.
What's different about it?
I have no idea.
It has a K on it.
It's harder?
It's not deflated?
There's a K on it.
Like, would you want it overly inflated?
Yeah, right? Wouldn't it go further?
Maybe not. I don't know.
But what if you have a fake and now you got this big giant medicine ball that you're trying to throw?
Not like a balloon.
Okay.
Be great for next time you guys have Brandon Aubrey on.
That's right. Well, which should be soon.
Isn't Anger the holder, though?
Anger is the holder, yeah.
How did he call it off on the sideline if he was...
Oh.
It's a weird chain of command where the head coach doesn't make all the rules here. You know,
Sure, that's
What's
a great
your-
theory.
Well, he hates.
What's your animosity
Hates
towards
him.
McCarthy?
Because he's a Green Bay fan.
yeah, Packers fan.
Yeah, he won you a Super Bowl.
Right.
Did he?
He brought it there.
Possibly
the greatest coach in Packers history.
Could be.
Some are saying.
Yeah. Well,
many are saying.
You guys have fun with
Or
Mike
Forrest
McCarthy.
Gregg.
36 wins in 3 years.
Oh, that's great, right? People are real happy with that. Very
Now-
satisfied.
Now I'm defending Jake's argument, and I don't like it.
Why do you take a timeout? You're the coach. Just take the timeout. Like, you're the guy. It's very strange. And then he just brags about calling a great game and hanging out with Erin Andrews. And I did like Blake's line that she might have made that line up.
She made that whole report up.
They're not saying that much stuff to Erin Andrews in the tunnel. She's taking poetic license with every one of those reports, I'm convinced.
Yeah, and you're not joking around or making this a long deal of a coach heading into half. It is a quick, maybe 2 questions.
Right.
And she was a part of the podcast that said they would make up halftime reports from time to time.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to this weekend's game, though, just because I want the full Brady experience. We just had a little bit last week. I think the whole Brady thing is fascinating.
I do, too. I'm so glad you brought it up. I thought if Brady, because of what everybody thinks of him, he's so vanilla and Boy Scout-ish that if he could have done the exact same broadcast, but if he had said something like, oh my, Deshaun Watson's got one more interception than I've got divorces, and becomes human, makes a little fun of himself, he's the greatest color man of all time. And people are loving Brady on Twitter. Can you believe what Tom Brady said? Just something like that makes him freaking relatable. But he was so bland and so by the book. And I get it. It's his first game. And that's not an easy job. But I hope he evolves into being a personality and not just a guy that's super ass famous. Because that's all he is. I mean, he kicked out Greg the Leg because he's more famous than Greg.
For sure.
Greg Olsen. That's the only reason he's on the A team is because he's Tom Brady. But he's probably the worst guy on their roster as far as doing that job.
I mean, the roast was supposed to do what you just said. Like humanize him.
Yeah, but that's other people taking the piss. That's not him doing it. That's him just kind of sitting there and taking it.
And he was pretty stiff in that, too.
I've liked him on like the Peyton thing, the Peyton and Eli Monday Night Football bit.
Yeah,
like when he does have a chance to just talk, and
he's got to get to a place where he can let that image guard down and just be a regular dude. And I didn't really see or hear much great insider football stuff. Now, look, Tony was great in his first season, but I think we've learned that Tony feels like people start saying nice shit about him, and then he just licks stamps and doesn't care anymore. But Tom, I didn't find anything that he said to be particularly astute about the game of football or what was going on in the game. He was just a guy saying words.
It doesn't help that you're getting that commercial every break of him working so hard. But the other thing is, like, that game got so out of hand, and I don't know if you can teach a guy to have personality. Like, I'm not sure that Tom Brady is good for blowout games like that when there is a lot of downtime and you actually do need a little bit of banter. A close game, he might have came through and got juiced and things like that. He was probably just as bored as the rest of us in the second half.
He's got to do something that surprises people, and there's nothing surprising about what he's doing right now.
He was great on SNL, like over 10 years ago. He's wearing the jock strap, and he goes and he honks the boob, and he doesn't get the sexual harassment HR call, but Fred Armisen gets close to the cubicle. That's harassment.
He's arrested. Yeah.
But he was good on that and getting drunk at the bar and making out with Kate McKinnon. We need more of that. That's how I learned to actually like Eli. I think Eli was good on Saturday Night Live.
He was.
Did it. And it's like, okay.
Pretty much any time they get an athlete on SNL, I don't know what they do. It's like getting interviewed by Gordon Keith. You know, you just end up becoming a completely, entirely different version of yourself.
Yeah, again, you got a lot of other people revolving around him, helping him. He's not really the guy.
And who in that position, the people that are trying to help him improve at his job, are going to say anything remotely as honest as the things that we're saying in this room right now?
That's the problem.
Because it's Tom Brady. Ooh.
Well, they are paying him a lot of money.
Right. And he's famous, and people are going to watch no matter what. You're going to turn a game off because of the color analysis is not very good.
No, and that's why it's probably silly they pay these guys $15 million, or what's he making? 20, 30 a year, like something crazy.
Yeah, what was it, 10 for 325 or something like that?
Yeah.
Even the Romo set it all up with the $18 million a year or whatever.
Yeah, but Romo had his bit in his first game. Remember, he was calling every play, and it's going to be a run left. And at least that solidified him in some way early on.
No, Romo's early success it has led to some problems because you would never have hired Jason Witten to just be on the A-team right away in the past. You would have said, oh, he needs a year or two here. But they were like, oh, okay, look, you can just step right off the field and into the number one role, and you'll be great. And because the famous, I think it was like a Les Moonves or somebody conversation with Romo at a dinner party, like, oh, this guy's really engaging. I think he should be the number one. He should get that job, and then they just gave it to him.
Well,
look, Jason Witten, he was fun to talk to for a day.
Jerry had some influence.
I think Jerry did have influence in Romo getting it.
For sure.
Because they didn't want Romo to go to another team.
Yeah, go to be the Texans quarterback.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'll get you the number one job, Jim Nance. So Jerry's to blame.
Which was a pretty big move. Because they bumped Phil Simms, who apparently they kind of liked, and I never did.
Aikman's been doing it so long that I don't even remember his first year. Was he widely criticized after his rookie year in the booth?
So his first year, he was. I'm sorry.
He started in the minors. He was not the A-team.
Right. But I mean, just as far as his presentation performance.
Well, he started in a three-man booth with John Madden and Chris Collinsworth.
Troy did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So his first year. I think it was
My
Madden.
point is
maybe it wasn't Madden. I know Collinsworth, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
I just don't recall
I believe.
a lot of criticism of Troy, but he evolved.
Right. And then when he was elevated to the number one team, he was kind of good at it already.
Yeah, he was.
Where Brady had never done it, or he's probably done 4 games that we've never seen.
Yeah.
But I think the thing about that you notice about Troy doing it, and like I said, having been doing it for so long, once you kind of got to know him, you were kind of surprised. You were surprised because he was so quiet and soft-spoken and didn't really speak that much, or it was very kind of gray with his personality with the media when he was a player.
I
But
thought
when
he
got
would
in the
suck
booth,
as an announcer.
I thought he was great, and
Yeah.
people were surprised. So it's maybe the bar was so low for what your expectations were of Troy. So if he had any personality at all, you were like, "Oh my gosh, this is cool."
Yeah.
Who knew Troy could, be a human being? He was so robotic during his career with the media, by design. Yeah, I mean, and now he's just he's the example of what a color guy should be in the league.
You put him next to Kevin Burkhardt, and I bet you he would turn to crap.
You think?
Hell yeah.
Why?
KB sucks, man.
He does. He's terrible.
Why does he suck?
He doesn't bring the best out in his partner. He creates a weird atmosphere in the booth that I don't think Brady quite vibes with yet. Let's go down to EA.
Also,
let's curb your enthusiasm reference going to break. I'm so cool and funny. I'm Kevin.
Really? I don't notice that about him.
he just doesn't have, though, the gravitas, or what do you call it? Just the name.
Sure.
Like, Troy Aikman was with Joe Buck, and Joe Buck was already well known as a really good announcer, and this is Tony Romo got with Jim Nantz, and even though I don't like Nantz, he's Jim Nantz, legendary announcer. Tom Brady's with this guy. He's probably never heard of him. And now he's kind of in charge of Tom Brady.
Yeah, but
if Jim Nantz is steering you along, you're like, okay, I'm going to listen to you a little bit. You're Jim Nantz. Joe Buck, you're pretty good at this. Everybody knows it. I don't even know who you are. Maybe I've seen you in one of those production meetings, but I didn't remember your name.
You know how bland and nondescript Tom Brady was to me? Because I watched the game delayed a little bit. So I had some stuff to do prior to kickoff or through kickoff. So I started it maybe near the end of the first quarter. So I fast forwarded through all the pregame and started right on kickoff. It took me until the first quarter was about half over to realize that it was Tom Brady. I didn't even know. I thought, oh, this is just Greg Olsen in my head, because I don't really pay that much attention. So nothing at all for a half of a quarter jumped out at me and said, dude, Tom Brady's calling this game. Boring.
Yeah, and if you really weren't paying attention, all you missed is that it's hard to get 10 yards, but it's even harder to get 20, guys, if you guys didn't know.
Don't move backwards.
It just hit me. You just said that Romo had his bit. Tom Brady's bit he just needs to be a dick. Like, just go in, you're Tom Brady, people kind of don't like you that much anyways, and just be a dick. I don't know if you caught, I watched a little bit of the Manning cast the other night, and Peyton Manning just ripped Brandon Ayuk for dropping a touchdown pass. And I was like, Tom Brady, if he did that, that would score well with people.
He's not going to say anything to piss off the players in the league. He's not going to be overly critical. He's not funny.
But he's not allowed to even go to the production meetings and go to the facilities, right? Because he's a part owner of the Raiders. So who cares? You're Tom Brady. Burn some bridges, dude.
Was that their final decision on that? Because I remember them talking about it. I didn't know if they...
I saw that Fox was like, it's not a big deal. We're not worried about it. It's Tom Brady. But I'm not sure if they've been negotiating on what to do with that.
Yeah, maybe they'll say, oh, that's the problem. If he only had that production meeting.
If he had production meetings.
He would have known not to be totally silent after plays happen. That's what... You're there to say stuff about the play. You're the color commentator. Hey, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that quarterback will throw for more than 300 yards? How about that receiver in Miami grabbing a touchdown? Well, check out DraftKings Pick 6, the newest way to compete against others and play fantasy football to win cash with DraftKings. So you just pick a player, choose if they'll have more or less of a particular stat like yards, touchdowns, catches. If you get your picks right, you win cash. The way to do this is download the new DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use the code DUMBZONE. That's all one word. And if you're like us, you probably don't know how to spell that. So it's DUMBZONE, all one word. New customers, you'll play $5, and then you get $50 in Pick 6 credits guaranteed. So put the code DUMBZONE in. Oh, they also give you 1 month of NFL Plus Premium for free. This offer expires 9/19 only on DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. And you're like, hey, are these guys done talking about DraftKings? Not quite.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. One per new customer. Reward issued as $50 in non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 6 months. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms.
Did you jot that number down, Kevin?
How conversational was all of that?
That's great.
Amazing.
You did well.
I might need that number. I have so many lineups in the Texas State game tonight and 20 lineups in the golf tournament that's happening this week.
You know, Kevin's
I like that.
got a bit of a gambling issue.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The issue is there's not enough time to gamble more.
That's exactly right. And it causes problems at home.
Well,
yeah, it does.
We all got stuff going on at home we don't want to talk about.
Yeah. I was like, but you just
Did you have some Cowboys today before we get into Tyreek?
I do. This came up on the show because KT, I don't know, you're like film guy, aren't you?
There was a time.
Well, even me, I noticed that DeMarvion Overshone is a dude, really good. And we had talked about he wanted the number 0 coming out of college because he wore 0 at Texas. He wore 35 last year, but then got hurt. He's now wearing number 13, and this looks like it was at training camp. But Bill Jones sat down with DeMarvion Overshone and said, hey, why you're 0 at Texas? I think you want to be number 0. Why aren't you number 0? And I thought his answer was hilarious because it's so Dallas Cowboys. So here's DeMarvion Overshone with Bill Jones.
0 was definitely panning out. Like, that's what I thought. That's what I was looking forward to in the future. And I just thought it was meant to be, because at first when I was already coming to the league, I was like, well, 0 is not even an available number, so I'm gonna have to find something else anyways. And as soon as they made the rule that NFL players can wear 0, I like the first Dallas Cowboy to wear 0. Like, it's just meant to be. Coming from Texas wearing number 0, this is just meant to be.
Okay, it's a big deal to him.
So he wanted number 0.
Loves the number 0. Was called Agent 0 at Texas. That's his college number. That's his thing. Okay?
Yeah, we talked about this the other day. Why doesn't he wear 0 then?
We'll get to that. But so a year or two ago, the NFL says, okay, yeah, you can wear number 0. Jaron Kearse tried. He didn't get it. And he said, yeah, maybe they'll give it to Overshone. Okay, but he's about to tell you why he can't wear the number 0 for the Dallas Cowboys.
And sadly, it didn't happen like that. That's Rowdy number, and
who he was told I can't do it because of it's Rowdy's number.
Rowdy wears 0.
Nuh-uh.
Back that up.
Sadly, it didn't happen like that. That's Rowdy number, and I guess me and Rowdy gonna have to duke it out. But Rowdy my guy, and so I think
now he's got to go on to defend Rowdy. I'm just playing, but it's Rowdy wears 00, and I don't think the Cowboys.
So he actually asked,
yes,
and they said no.
Yeah,
because it's Rowdy's number.
So he goes on. I mean, this is serious. This is what the Cowboys told him.
And I guess me and Rowdy gonna have to duke it out. But Rowdy my guy, and so I think Mr. Jones is gonna hold on to that number for a while. Hopefully, 13 looks so good on the field. He'd be like, what, you can have 0.
So your goal, though, is to be number 0 whenever Rowdy decides that you played well enough to earn number 0, right?
I'm not saying it's well, I am saying it. Rowdy, if you ever just want to sit down and we can have a conversation, I tell you how much 0 means.
He doesn't talk.
Maybe we can have a little quick jersey change just for a game, just to see how it looks on me. If it don't look good, if it look better on Rowdy, I give it back to him. But I promise you, Rowdy, like I would make that 0 shine just like you do.
Oh my God.
I mean, obviously, if he's joking about Rowdy, but it's Jerry.
Jerry doesn't want him wearing the number. I don't think Jerry likes the number 0 for a player on the field.
He might not, but how insane is it that we are listening to this conversation?
What if Overshone, keeps this up and he's Pro Bowl player? Do you think he'll?
It's a big deal to him. What? Just let him have his number. Your dumb little mascot wears 00. Who cares?
Like if Micah wanted 0, he'd get 0, wouldn't he?
I don't know.
I guess CeeDee Lamb
has
wanted.
a Cowboy ever had the number 0?
No.
No, because nobody. It just became available.
Okay, I didn't know that.
With the NFL rule change.
I think Jerry's so old school because I had coaches back in the 80s that I remember a player wanting 00. He's like, that's not a number. You're not getting that. No, we're not giving you 00.
Yeah.
Like they just didn't even consider that being an option. And I bet Jerry's like that.
Now, 00 is not available though, right? Like is
00 or 0.
Just 0 is
Yeah.
available. But if Rowdy's 00, why couldn't he just be 0? I bet Jerry's using this as a negotiating tactic in 3 years for a contract. Take a little less money, we'll give you 0.
Yeah, that's a good point. But in listening to him talk, like it's a big deal to him. And the excuse that Jerry gave him why he can't have his number is because our mascot wears it. It's so stupid.
They're the dumbest organization.
They are. I feel bad for him. I want him to have his number.
So elsewhere, right when we left Cleveland, this story breaks. So Deshaun Watson, terrible game against the Browns. It was so funny. Just walking into that game, it was so exciting. Everybody's so optimistic for the new year, and things are different, and Stefanski's got all his stuff in place, and Deshaun Watson, I mean, after a couple of little rough years, but, looked good last year, and it didn't look good last year, but he some good numbers,
5-1.
Yeah, they were 5-1 with him as starting quarterback, and then he got hurt. It's going to happen now. All the stuff we went through, had to acquire him and have him suspended for a year and all that. Like, now it's happening. And then they go out there, and they're just not even in the game ever. And just, he was sailing balls. Like, he was terrible. He doesn't look anything like a starting quarterback in the NFL. So then all of a sudden the story comes out that he's now being sued again by another lady, accusing him of sexual assault and battery and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Allegedly happened at a date at the woman's apartment in October 2020. COVID year. I guess this is right around the time that he was having all the other ladies file lawsuits against him. And according to this particular lawsuit, well, I wonder if we should even look at who's bringing this lawsuit.
Oh, can I guess?
Yeah.
Tony Busby.
It's our old guy, Tony Busby.
The guy who has a tank.
And back then, so what was the original lawsuits? All the lawsuits were brought up by Tony Busby and his clients, but was it back then, was he just playing poorly? He had signed that big contract, or was it that he was then demanding a trade? Some things were going awry after the contract. He had some good years, signed a huge contract. Then things are kind of wheels off with the Texans. They traded the wide receiver to Arizona. I'm trying to remember.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
But this was over ownership, wasn't it?
I don't even remember.
But as I recall, I think he wanted a trade. He wanted out.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these things start dropping. And it was thought, did the Texans leak this stuff? Did the Texans send this to Tony Busby? Because they wanted to get out of him, the Deshaun Watson business, and just get out of that contract and everything. And it feels like that now. Like, we just had this terrible game. So I don't know that the Browns are leaking this, but I do have a feeling on one thing. But as far as this is concerned, so this is apparently, he met her in July 2020. They exchanged text for a while. He asked to meet her in October. She invited him to her apartment for dinner. The lawsuit alleges after calling the woman's cell phone and aggressively yelling and screaming and stating that he could not find her apartment, Deshaun Watson arrived, and while waiting for her to finish getting ready, so she's like,
Should we do a promo for Channel 27 right now?
No, not right now.
I mean,
she says,
so you guys want to stop and knock out this promo real quick?
Nope.
Okay.
So, he goes in her apartment. She's like, I got to kind of finish getting ready. So she goes into the bathroom. Apparently, when she comes out of the bathroom, now she's ready, got her makeup on, he is lying completely naked on her bed.
Why? What?
This playbook.
Can he not read a room?
He then insisted that she massage his buttocks.
Can you imagine?
Do you think this date is going well?
Can you imagine if any one of us approached a first date that way? What the result would be?
How much money do we have?
Not enough.
I'm all bloated and pale.
Hey, can you massage my butt?
Massage my buttocks.
Would the ladies start laughing if it was me? Anyway, said massage the buttocks despite the woman repeating that she wasn't a masseuse. She says she was afraid.
That's a good rebuttal. I'd love to, but I'm not trained.
Yeah.
So here's her move. She said she was afraid and attempted to massage his back instead. So she was like, look,
all right,
won't do that. Little odd that you are laying naked on my bed, but what if we just do a back massage? Well, he does the old trickaroo. He turns over when she leans down to massage the back. A classic move. Then grabbed her and sexually assaulted her for several minutes. She escaped and grabbed a piece of furniture for self-defense. And then Watson left. So very muddy, the whole story. Feels just odd from many, many angles, of course. Because he's got to get dressed, right? He didn't just run out. What piece of furniture would you grab for self-defense if indeed you could grab a piece of furniture? Clearly you think of some kind of a small statue.
A statue or a 1972 ashtray.
Yeah.
The one that my uncle had that weighed like 13 pounds and had no less than 600 butts still in it.
The spittoon.
You don't want to grab a couch.
A lamp.
That would be too big.
Be a nice heavy lamp.
Maybe, but now you're carrying a lamp, and then do you wrap up the cord? Like, how do you, that's causes all kinds of trouble.
I think it's the ashtray, Dan.
How about the portable vacuum, the little guy?
A dust buster?
Yeah, you can kind of whack someone with that thing.
And then clean up the mess when you're done?
Maybe. Anyway. So now this comes out just yesterday or just Monday. And then what happens Tuesday?
Like, the timing is really weird for something that happened 4 years ago.
Yeah, that should have come out when everything else was coming out.
Yeah. Just holding on to that one. Okay, so if it is...
According to the lawsuit, the woman was discouraged from coming forward with her story after seeing how previous women who had made allegations were treated by Watson's defense team and the public.
And then she's a Browns fan and watched his performance on Sunday and said, all right, we got to get this guy out of here.
We can't have this dead money for the next 3 years.
The lawsuit says as a result of this alleged incident, the woman suffers from severe mental anguish, panic attacks, depression, and anxiety, is seeking damages of over $1 million, which he could afford. He got $230 million guaranteed.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys see Dak's contract?
$231.
Oh,
isn't that funny? How'd they come up with that number?
I don't know.
They just put them next to each other and went up $1 million.
Oh. I guess that's how.
I guess that is logical. So, the day after that, USA Today, I think, is the one that first got it, but they got a hold of his contract. And now this has been leaked by the Browns, if you ask me.
They're trying to get out of this.
Of course.
Because there is stuff in there, apparently. The one way you could void this contract, I think if he pulled an OJ, So there's a couple ways. If you pull an OJ, like do something really, really bad, but also if you did something before signing with the Browns.
What do you mean pull an OJ? Like star in Naked Gun 3?
No, like if you cut the head off of your ex-wife and her boyfriend.
Okay, I get it now.
Yes, a brutal double murder, you can void the contract. Or...
But nothing about Naked Gun.
If there's nothing about Naked Gun in the whole contract. I've gone over it. If you had something you did and didn't tell it, like he was supposed to, hey, we're going to sign this with you, but everything you did. So is it just these 20 women? That's it? You sure? Like maybe he did tell them about this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he said, actually, there was a few more. And so if they do come out, you'll know about it. You're supposed to disclose everything to the Browns before we sign this contract. And I guess that is in the fine print of the contract. And that is what has been released to the media. And that is why I think the Browns have released it. And as a guy who would like to see the Browns do well someday before I die again, or I didn't die
again?
already. No, before I die.
It's a ghost.
Ghost. I would hope they could void this contract. That'd be great.
Yeah.
But I'm still watching Baker over there in Tampa.
Yeah, maybe get Baker back.
Kind of kick ass.
He looked pretty good in game 1, week 1. Not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Get Baker close to me.
Did you guys talk about the line 4 guy appearance on
Sounded a lot like him.
Cleveland radio on Monday morning?
I don't know who line 4 guy is.
Why is that like owned by the ticket or something? You can't say line 4 guy?
I know a guy named Heart Attack Man.
Heart Attack Man.
No, I don't know.
Okay.
No, we played that piece of audio. It's kind of sounded like him, but I think when you walk around Cleveland, everybody kind of sounds like him.
Really?
Yeah. There's a Cleveland accent that I don't know if I have.
Mm-mm.
I don't? Okay.
My wife's from Cleveland. You know.
Does she have one? Okay, because some people, when you're in Cleveland, you can really feel it.
What's
can't
the
you?
nuance of the Cleveland accent? Is it like
I was really
akin to
picking it up
Chicago
from the
at all,
TikTok
or-
Tavern lady.
Oh, yeah.
But it's hard to there's a few phrases. I got to think about it. But when you're there, it's really prevalent.
Because when you think of Midwest, you think Chicago accent.
Growing
right?
up, I thought we didn't have accents. I thought everybody else did.
Oh, yeah, for sure, baby. Yeah.
You say baby a lot. The other sports story we wanted to get into before KT Kevin Turner leaves, because you have a job.
Yeah.
You don't have one job. You have many jobs.
I have many jobs.
Yeah.
Yes.
One job is the name of our kicker league.
It is.
Because they have one job. Although they do kick off, too, and now it's a little more confusing.
It's strange. These guys are going to want in next year, I can tell.
Did you see Cade York? Do you know Cade York? Are you familiar with him as a fantasy
former
guy?
Browns kicker?
Yeah, he was actually drafted. And then, so you don't waste a draft pick on a kicker.
No.
But the Browns are like, hey, what if we did? They drafted him fairly high, as I recall. Like, it wasn't a 7th rounder.
Right.
And he ended up just sucking. In fact, I think he lost me the first week. It was Baker against, I'm trying to remember, but he missed a big kick. I remember that I have a lot of losses. Anyway, he did it again this weekend. If you picked Cade York in the one job, I believe he missed a few kicks, kicked one out of bounds, kickoff out of bounds, and then got released Tuesday or Monday or whenever.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Care a lot about kickers now.
Oh, yeah, you will. You're going to feel it, man.
No, I don't want to.
It's so fun.
So our next sports story that we didn't really... Oh! Let's see the other one real quick.
We have two, kind of.
We have a Tyreek Hill video we want to watch. The Tyreek Hill arrest video. But this just broke yesterday. Something about Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah, who's playing this?
I don't have it.
Rob, you want me to do it? Yeah. All right, stand by.
Okay. I thought you were prepared.
I mean, you told me to load it into effing Dropbox. I figured you want me to do that so you can play it.
Oh, okay. Then I'll play it.
And I guess this audio cable's for me? This is my first day. Come on.
All right, here, I'll play it.
Then I got it right here.
I said it, play it.
I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Let
Okay.
me play it.
So apparently Shannon Sharpe
Maybe we shouldn't play it.
live streamed himself on Instagram. And that's not uncommon. People do it all the time. I think we sometimes live stream this show on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. But he didn't do it on purpose. He accidentally clicked live stream, and with his camera pointed at the ground, he recorded himself doing this with this person.
You have to change
And
the audio
it's not
settings.
working.
Okay, I'll play it.
Go for it.
So he was live streaming Instagram.
Yes, and
saying some stuff like
people were commenting,
like, "Hey, football is happening," and
I don't know if it ever started as a serious stream. I think he just hit the button on accident.
Yeah, it was an accident.
No, he was not breaking down Patriots Bengals and then just
set
rolled
his
over.
phone down.
So this is him making love.
Uh-huh. Hot love.
This is not making love.
This is a bear trying to kill a rabbit. If you listen to the end of
This
it.
is taking out anger.
Listen.
Gross. Why are we playing this?
Because it's fun.
So uncomfortable.
It is.
Damn.
Wow. Are women normally that into it?
Yeah, what the hell? I've never heard that before.
What are those noises she's making?
Yeah.
And he's acknowledged this, right? He's like, yeah.
Yeah, he did a show later that night.
He lied about it first, though, and said he got hacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he.
And then later it was like,
mistake.
okay, yeah, I still hit the button.
Actually, this isn't that bad for my image.
Like a 6-hour lie. And
then I think he just said, that was just me being a healthy adult male.
Yeah, he didn't apologize. He goes, I don't apologize for the act or what I was doing. I just apologize for being irresponsible with my phone. And you know what? Good for him.
But he said,
yeah, but the first lie.
The first lie is
Okay,
terrible.
the first lie is
Me
I
and
got
my team are
hacked.
looking to see who did it, who hacked my phone. Like, he said, we're on it. We're using all of our resources to find out.
Then he
who
talked to
cracked-
his people, and they're like, look, this isn't bad.
No.
You got some other stuff that might end up being bad. Let's just keep this one out there, and people will think you like the F.
I think the claim of being hacked is actually used accurately about 1% of the time. Like an actual hacking of your
Right.
phone. Think about that.
Right. Why would I put that on there?
Right. You just made a mistake, bro. Or your homie.
I guess you'd have
your
to
phone.
do it if that wasn't his wife, or if he was cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
Then you would have to say, "I've been hacked," and then you have to stick with that.
And these are, I guess he says a name in the video. Like
Was it Michelle or something like that?
kind of dirtbags that people are now. Like they found out who it was within 10 minutes.
So it's not he's not married, is he?
I don't know.
I don't know on that.
Because there's
Did they really?
Yeah, like
Okay.
shockingly quick.
We get a picture. I'm sure she's an attractive lady.
Yeah, she'll post
Very-
pictures in lingerie on Instagram. I think our sit-in has a question.
Are
you found
raising your hand for a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I know my place. So you famous guys who do streaming things on your phones, you don't have a separate phone just for that, so this doesn't happen? You don't think about that?
Well, no. Even if he has a separate phone, he accidentally hit the button.
Okay, but that shouldn't be an accident. If it's a separate phone, you put that phone away. If he wasn't doing a broadcast before, that phone shouldn't be.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like he was just goofing
he's,
around on Instagram and then just accidentally hit the button and then set it down.
I think,
Yeah,
I think
that makes
he's
sense.
he's saying what we're all thinking. He did this on purpose.
Oh, well, yeah, I could see that.
I don't know.
Let me
Why
guess
would you initially deny then?
That's his
It's all part of it.
Part of the bit.
Part of the bit. Keep his name out there. Now people are talking about Shannon Sharpe. Where's he?
Now everyone
Let's
thinks,
go watch.
Yeah,
What's his show? Where is he for real?
Undisputed or something. He does the nightcap with Chad Johnson. But now, like today, everyone just thinks like, yeah, this guy can just lay the wood. That's not bad PR.
Yeah.
Outside of the breathing, it's not bad for him.
Oh.
Was he with Skip?
He was.
Oh, yeah,
Skip
for a
and
long
Shannon?
time.
Skip
Yep.
stabbed him in the back.
Okay, so he wasn't with
That doesn't
Stephen
sound
A.
like
Smith.
Skip.
Who's with Stephen A. Smith? Why do I act like I care? I don't care where he is.
I don't know.
But
let's not find out the answers to those questions.
But not a bad point. Like, he would put himself in the news because, like,
oh no, you got me. I was just railing this chick.
Would we be
would
as
one of
excited?
you guys do that?
Would we be
us?
as excited if it was Skip Bayless's live stream, accidental live stream?
Yes.
It'd be
I
great.
think I'd be 50 times more.
Yeah.
excited.
I assume Shannon Sharpe is out there.
At one point
pounding
in the audio, because somebody actually transcribed it, so there's subtitles.
Why?
Really?
Why do we need that?
And at one point,
This is good.
At one point, he tells her to move her toe.
Move your toe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move your toe.
You ever
I think he said something about.
you ever have to move your dog away? Because my dog will come lick the toe.
That's my Michelle.
Is he saying that's my Michelle?
Michelle.
I would think a guy like him wouldn't want to use names just on the chance that you might use the wrong one. Well, he's going at it,
It's
bro.
like at 42 seconds, I think he says tickle my perineum.
No way.
It's really
What?
Yeah, it's very clear.
Oh, okay, yeah, she's into it. That's great to see kids these days. The other sports story, then, video that we wanted to watch it. The Tyreek Hill. You got 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the Tyreek Hill arrest video got out there. This, thanks to our good friends at should we credit our buddies here in the building? Fox 4 News. They uncovered this for us, and so I thought we should just sit and watch the video to see, is this warranted? So, Tyreek Hill before the game, arrested. Pretty badass, kind of like Scotty Scheffler gets arrested and goes out and plays very well.
Mm-hmm.
He scores a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
You see the celebration?
It's the coolest thing I've seen in some time.
They did take a look at the celebration if you can find it. The touchdown celebration was him getting handcuffed. Now, not thrown to the ground, as we will see. Let's take a look at the video. Can we pause it if we need to? So this is him getting pulled over. Sweet, kick-ass car, whatever that is. Rolls his window up.
Jeez, 4 motorcycles behind him?
window down.
Yeah, he rolled his window up after giving him his ID or whatever.
Hey, keep your window down. Keep your window down. I'm gonna get you out of the car. As a matter of fact, get out of the
He
car.
only rolled it down a couple of inches there.
Break that freaking window. Get out of the car. Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. Get out. Get out.
So he tells him to get out. He starts getting out. But before he can actually just get out, they're like, no. They're all fired up.
Oh, can you pause it?
Yeah, back it up just a bit.
Because I think that part's important. Because he's on the phone, and you can hear him say, hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested.
Drew Rosenhaus.
His agent.
Get out of the car right now. We're not playing this game. Get out. Get out. Get out.
Like, he is getting out, but then they yank him out and throw him to the ground. Certainly unnecessary, right?
100%.
Hey, Drew, I'm getting arrested, Drew. I'm getting arrested. Yo, bro, dude, beating on my window like he crazy. I ain't do nothing, twin.
Hey, don't park there. Don't park there.
Yeah, someone else stops and pulls up right in front. It might be Odell Beckham, so hold on. We'll get to
Blaze
that.
Campbell.
Hold on, bro. I just had surgery on my knee.
So for no reason,
That's my fantasy
okay, pause
receiver.
that and back that
Yeah,
up.
they told him to sit down.
Be
and
careful with him. He was my first pick.
So the thing is, they are, again, there's a ton of cops there.
For a seatbelt infraction.
I think it was a seatbelt infraction.
And I think there was,
That's what it was?
It was seatbelt, and I think...
was he going real fast?
I think he was speeding. But I think it was mainly that they cite him for seatbelt. Like, that's what is
How can
said
you
on
tell?
the video.
His windows are tinted.
I have no idea. Maybe they have special technology. Special police technology, Blake.
Okay.
Or maybe they pulled him over for speeding. He rolls down his window and he's just still not wearing a seatbelt. I don't know.
Yeah, it could be.
But they end up, they pull him over, tell him to get out. And I'm sure he's copping a little attitude there.
Yeah.
But that is no reason to throw someone to the ground, I don't think. Your job should probably be to de-escalate.
Yeah.
Not to escalate. And then, let's go back to it where, so now they're kind of standing outside the back of the car. So clearly he's posing no risk here. He is already handcuffed. And there's like 4 cops around, and they're telling him to sit down on the curb.
Hey, don't park there.
And he doesn't comply within like 5 seconds. They're trying to get him to sit down.
They're trying to push him down to sit.
He's about to sit down, and some other guy just yanks him.
Aggressively.
I just had surgery. Really? What I just had surgery in your ears when we got there. Chill, bro. Chill.
You hear that?
Yeah, so that surgery on my knee. You're gonna.
He's like, what a coincidence.
Should have had surgery on your ears when we told you to roll your window down.
Yeah, they're all just high teed
They're
up,
being
bro.
total D's. That situation should have never escalated to that. And I don't know if you guys are ever on like social media and you watch one thing and you see 50 of them. I think I watched a video once of what your rights are when you get pulled over, that you don't have to roll your window all the way down, that you don't have to present some, I don't know, you don't have to get out of your car. You present them your ID. And you can basically not say a word to them and just ask them for the ticket. And I don't know if that applies in every state. But if any of that is true, it seems to me like, look, I rolled my window down. I gave you my ID. I'm rolling it back up. If you need me again, let me know. And they're just pissed. And by the time he's like not rolling his window down, the door is open. They are pulling him out of the car, throw him on the ground. There's just no attempt to keep this chill. Why are there 4 motorcycle cops following this guy? Unless he was trying to evade them or not a failure to pull over. I don't understand why there's so many cops. And granted, what's he driving? Is a Lamborghini or something?
It's a McLaren,
Ferrari or McLaren or something like that?
I did see a video of them before the arrest, and it looks like they're just patrolling traffic.
Okay.
They're right by the state.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So,
so you got typically that will happen. You'll have 4 cops with a radar gun, and I got this one, and they'll go chase after that car that's speeding. Or I saw that's probably how they saw is that he wasn't wearing his seatbelt because they're looking head on, as opposed to the side of the car through tinted windows.
You're close to the stadium 3
True.
hours before the game, and a nice car goes by, and you're in Miami. Like, I would just assume it's a Dolphin and he can speed. It's fine. Like, I don't understand, why you would have to pull over anyone there. Like, if they're driving a sweet car like that, it's a player.
Well,
and the day
get your county the money, but you don't do that. Like, even if he's kind of an a-hole to you.
What if you had the under though?
That's true. You'd want to keep Tyreek Hill out of that game,
dude,
or just kind of hurt his knee.
That happened in the Shield.
Can you imagine how much they could sue them for if they actually re-injured his knee? Because that's like a $100 million knee, right?
Probably couldn't sue him.
No? You can sue anybody for anything in the United States, Robert.
Thrown out. You can't. You can try, but
yeah.
I don't.
He's going to sue
standing.
Dade County or Miami Police or whatever this is. This video is not. Look, I agree. You comply. Put your hands on the steering wheel. I get it. I do it every time. And I do not look like what a typical threat would be to police officers. I get that, but I'm still doing it.
Yeah, no, they're humans.
But man,
we've always said this to Jake because High T Jake used to know every rule.
Yeah,
and would cite that and would not give them one extra piece of information. They'd be like, "Hey, where are you going tonight?" He'd be like, "You don't need to know that."
No,
right away you're
I'm not
going
doing
to
that. I'm not doing that.
Just lie.
Just want to get it over with as soon as possible.
Yeah, you're going to get. If they can do anything to you, like immediately you are signaling, I want you to look for anything you can on this car.
My goal is to show enough concern or empathy towards what they're going through by keeping my hands on the steering wheel. Oftentimes I'll have my hands literally outside of the window with my ID holding it so they can see there's no weapons or anything like that. It's to me like show as much, compassion that I might get out of this ticket for being a really cool traffic stop.
See, I always think I'm going to get out of the ticket by being funny, and that's why I pull out my little squirt gun, and they think that's really funny.
Right.
Because it looks real. No, it's like a lighter, and then it just lights. And then they always are like, oh, man.
Okay.
Effing classic Dan. This is great, man.
Hadn't seen that one in years.
Pleasure to meet you.
The lighter that looks like a handgun.
Yeah. So that's what I always endorse.
I think he was calling for that, or a couple of those guys to get fired, which is funny because the internet's now like, well, no one called on you to get fired when you pushed your pregnant girlfriend down the flight of stairs. But
Yeah, that's
He did address this, and Rob, I think I've got this set up so it should play. Here we go.
He dressed his pregnant girlfriend?
I guess I don't. I set the thing up, Blake. I did what you
Is
did.
it real?
It's called Tyreek Hill Responds. It should be in that same Dropbox folder.
I do love you setting up audio that doesn't play.
Could have been better. I could have let down my window, in that instant. But the thing about me is, man, I don't want attention. I don't want to be like cameras out, phones on you, in that moment.
That's why I'm driving such a modest vehicle. I don't want people to notice me.
At the end of the day, I'm human. I gotta follow rules. I gotta, do what everyone else would do.
I know what he was thinking too when he gets pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, I'll pay whatever it is. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll speed every day.
Just give me the ticket. I gotta go, bro.
But yeah.
So now, does that give them the right to literally beat the dog out of me? Absolutely not. But at the end of the day, I wish I could go back and, do things a bit differently. Tyreek.
And that one little blurb in the middle of what was starting off and ended with contrition is why he's going to sue them. It does not give them the right to beat the dog out of me. There will be a lawsuit. I fully believe that.
With what damages?
Even if it's just
emotional distress.
Yeah, civil rights. Maybe he will say that his rights were violated by being yanked out of his car, and the fact that it was all filmed and put on the internet as quickly as
What
possible.
about the Mann Act?
How
what
long
about
does
the
it-
RICO statutes?
Right. Yes, it's a RICO case. How long does it? Do we find out sometimes that it takes like a month to get? Well, we're still waiting on the body cam footage from that officer. This was out like in 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, credit to
2 hours.
The body cam stuff?
Oh no, but
No, there's cell phone video immediately. But I'm talking about the video that we were watching was body cam number 3.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then there's another. If you let that video play longer, it's like Odell Beckham is the guy that pulled over.
That's who that was?
And then came over, and he was yelling at him like, "Call Drew, call Drew."
Yeah.
Because like,
yeah.
That's their blanket. They need their agent.
Oh, I need a Drew.
And even when they we had Brian Robinson on, the Commanders running back that got shot. As soon as he got shot, he knew to call Commander's security detail.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Hey, I've been hit."
Yeah.
It's amazing the numbers these people
when
have.
Zeke allegedly punched that DJ at the bar in Uptown.
Oh, that DJ's. We haven't been heard from again, has he?
The NDAs were handed out before the cops got there.
Yeah, that was great.
Every team's got their fixer crew, right?
If we could only get punched by Zeke.
Man.
I wouldn't live through it. I don't think any of us would.
Oh. Well, there's the risk you have to take.
Yeah.
Hey, KT, thanks for joining us. KT, ladies.
I got to leave it's about to be my favorite part of the show.
Which
KT's,
the break?
The Dumb Zone. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me and the Cleveland Browns as we welcome ABC television star and Cleveland native Drew Carey to help us welcome the Browns back to Cleveland.
Thank you. I want to send a message to everyone who ever made fun of Cleveland. A message to anyone who ever told a Cleveland joke or laughed at a Cleveland joke. You can now officially shut up! We're here to play football, baby! And if you came here to get mellow, you can turn around and get out! But Cleveland rocks, am I right? Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks! Cleveland rocks!
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
You're listening to The Dumb Zone.
Give me one of these.
The Dumb Zone.
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 You got that cool voice all the time. Jake just has it when he's sick.
No, Jake's voice is deeper than mine.
I don't know. You got cool announcer guy thing, though.
I can fake it. I don't sound
puppet.
I don't sound like that in real life, though.
But that was more fun off the air than we were having on the air. I can't remember what we were just talking about.
It's a shame you can't rewind life.
That one Black Mirror you can, right? With the contact lenses that record everything or something.
Oh, that was the implant that you got behind your ear, and it was like a DVR for your life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that episode?
Yeah, didn't he like rip it out at the end?
Yeah, because you just don't want to be that accountable.
Didn't he cheat on his wife or something? Or she cheated on him?
Oh, I think she was, yeah, it was.
And then you get to watch what was in there.
And basically you can, at the end of the day, you can
Oh, wait.
make
no,
a
it was
screen
like the
come up and,
goldfish had
and
it,
watch. No, a goldfish.
Like I thought the fish was watching or...
I don't...
Wait, hold on.
I think that's...
Mic on.
That's,
No, go
you're
to
good.
that mic.
My bad. My bad.
I
Go
think
ahead.
he had to watch all the guys his girlfriend had screwed in her before meeting him, and that drove him nuts.
What?
Like
Why?
because he watched her life.
From her POV.
Yeah, her POV. So
Yeah, if
you
you could see it from the guy's POV, that'd probably be all right.
Because she'd said, "Oh, it was nothing," and then he rewinds, and it's like this 2-week intense.
Blake is familiar with searching female POV on YouPorn.
That's your keyword?
It allows a new perspective.
Why? Why would you want that?
He just likes it. Different people like different things. So
Blake needs to see the dude, don't you?
Yeah, that's what we're saying here.
I need to see.
That's what you're now catching on, Danny.
I need to see Shannon Sharpe.
Blake likes to see the dude.
I just like looking at a floor.
So we were talking therapy because we're going to talk about BetterHelp, and I was watching The Sopranos this morning on your recommendation.
The documentary or the actual show?
The documentary.
Yeah. Wise Guys.
Yeah, Wise Guys. So it's HBO. It's 2 epis, each about, I think, an hour 15, hour 20.
Correct.
And so I watched episode 1 this morning. I will watch episode 2 later today or whatever, before tomorrow's show.
You want to save it for tomorrow?
To give you my full review, but I just want to say it's great. Thumbs up.
Blake, did you watch Sopranos, the TV show?
No, I fell off.
You fell off? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I would think if you've never watched The Sopranos, this wouldn't really do it for you.
No, I can't. I can't believe that anybody would want
Sopranos
to watch
guy?
it.
Certainly, Robert.
Never seen it.
Oh, that's very surprising. Especially since you said you're not unfamiliar with therapy, right? You've heard of people doing therapy and everything?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Okay.
Well, it's not.
The Sopranos
strictly
didn't
based on The Sopranos.
Therapy isn't?
Yeah, Dr. Melfi
I thought it was
the
invented
first,
there.
the first psychiatrist.
Oh. Anyway, watching the what do they call it? The screen test or all the tryouts to be certain people. It's kind of amazing once you see the guy that you know gets it in that role.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh yeah, I can see, all the people that tried out for Christopher. Or it was weird how even little Steven, he was originally brought in to play Tony.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The story of how they found little Steven on the MTV Music Award.
When he was inducting Bruce Springsteen into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or something.
And David
like
Chase
that.
is just kind of already working on this show, and oh my gosh, well, that guy's real Italian. I think he'd be good on this show.
And he would have gotten it had the network said we can't have a rookie actor playing the protagonist in this series.
Which is really interesting because, I don't know,
Gandolfini at least had acted before. He had he'd done a number of things and had acting chops. Little Stevie was a guitar player in a band.
But the reason I find it interesting is because, I read the book about HBO. There's a big, giant, really long book on the origin of HBO. I can't remember what it's called. But their big thing was...
Tinderbox?
Tinderbox sounds right. Their big thing, and I love that book. It's very inspirational.
It's a big book.
I think. As far as doing kind of what we're doing and trying to do something a little different too. Their big thing was that we hire good people and then we don't mess with them at all. There are no meetings. There are no notes. You know how you hear, in fact, David Chase was talking about he worked for the network and he worked for, he was on the Rockford Files and he was on all these other shows. And, you meet with the network executives and they'll be telling you, can't do that, can't do that. Let's change this. Let's get a different name of this, whatever, a lot of things. Well, famously, people have gone through problems with network executives. Well, HBO, their big thing was, we're not going to do that. We're going to hire somebody from network TV because they've been in this box. We want them to now break out creatively. So I'm going to hire you and say, you are the expert at making a show. We are the suits. Do your thing, whatever it is. And like the only notes they would ever give in the early days of HBO, what if we tossed in a little nudity? What if you said the F word?
Mm-hmm.
Like they want you to do that because they just need you in every show that you watch. And this was big in Dream On, or some of their other early shows, Arliss. We just want you at some point in this half hour to be reminded that I'm not watching the TV that I've come to know as TV.
It's not television.
So I need a boob.
It's HBO.
Yeah, just toss in a boob.
Mm-hmm.
Toss in an F word, even if it didn't really need it. And so that's why Dream On, every episode, as young Dan, I don't know about young Danny, would love when I got to go to a friend's house who had HBO because there was like a hot naked girl in every episode.
It was a glorious time.
Even for 10 seconds.
When
I'd be like, oh my God.
Somehow convinced my food stamp family to pony up the $4 a month that it cost back then to get that channel added to our cable. It was a game changer.
Your dad didn't just watch the cable man wire it and then do it when he left, like my dad did?
Well, my dad wasn't living in the home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bear trap.
Sorry.
It's fine. It's been well documented. I'm surprised you didn't already know.
We had free cable.
Yeah. No, before then, people always talk about
we had no cable.
Scrambled porn.
Okay.
We did. The HBO channel was scrambled. But you could kind of tell what was going on.
Right. Every once in a while, you could
super pixelated. It was like watching, Japanese adult films.
If you recorded it on a VHS tape, you could pause it, perhaps.
Maybe
certain spots.
But yeah, Mom finally broke down and got HBO because I convinced her that I needed to watch Wimbledon.
What?
Well, Wimbledon was on HBO.
It wasn't for the Dream On nudity.
It was solely for the Dream On nudity.
Because I love tennis, Mom.
Yeah. Yeah. But this documentary is great. Yeah, finish it up and let's maybe go a little more in-depth tomorrow because it's so good.
And Dr. Melfi, who was Karen in Goodfellas, of course.
They wanted her to play Carmela.
But she said, I think this is like the best character.
Well, she'd already
Dr. Melfi.
Yeah, she had already done that role playing a mobster's wife in Goodfellas, So she just didn't want to rehash that, and felt like this was a very original take on the mob because it ended up not really being about the mob. It ended up being about the mob, but it wasn't supposed to be that way. Like that was supposed to be a one season kind of thing to where Tony has anxiety attacks because of his relationship with his mother. And because of that, he has to go seek out therapy to get put on medication and ends up doing some work. But by the end of the season, he's supposed to actually kill his mother. It didn't happen that way in Sopranos. Livia didn't die at the hand of Tony in Sopranos. So that David Chase changed that. But he had this script laying around for a number of years. It got turned down by every single network and brought it to HBO, and they said, let's do a pilot.
Did he not end up killing her because she just died on her own in the off season?
The actor that played Livia did pass away, so they had to figure that out. I don't know if that's why they wrote,
because I wonder if that was
took out Tony actually killing his mom in Sopranos because of the actress's health situation, or if it was a reaction to it. I don't know.
Well, that Sopranos talk, and especially the stuff about Dr. Melfi, was sponsored by BetterHelp. If you have something you'd love to learn, or as an adult, if you don't really make time to learn new things as often as you'd like, or something that was lost in childhood, you lose that curiosity sometimes. So maybe it's gardening, a new language, or how to beat your best friend in bowling. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder, because your back-to-school era can come at any age. Many people have benefited from therapy. It is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself, and it isn't just for those who have experienced major trauma. So you don't have to go through something terrible to actually think therapy can help you. And maybe you're thinking of starting therapy. It is more and more people are on board with therapy, correct?
Absolutely.
So give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online. It is convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. You fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist. And then if you just don't feel there's the connection there, you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge.
It's very common. You got to find a fit, Blake.
So rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. In fact, BetterHelp.com/dumbzone, all one word. You can get 10% off your first month. And when they see that they're going to be like, yes, you need this.
Mm-hmm.
You're one of the dumb zone
You listen to
people.
the show. Yeah.
So it's BetterHelp.
They're rubbing their hands together.
BetterHelp.com/dumbzone. And dumbzone is all one word. Finding that out in many of these tags that we do with different sponsors. We'll just throw dumbzone as all one word. So BetterHelp.com/dumbzone. Get 10% off of your first month. Tell them Dr. Melfi sent you. I don't know if you want to tell them anything like that, actually.
Just type in Dumb Zone. Get your discount.
What else do we want to do before, or do we want to just save some of the stuff for tomorrow and head to the news? What are your thoughts, guys?
I can say my iWatch story for tomorrow, unless you want
really?
it now. Do you want it now?
Well, that was what we were talking about during the break.
Yeah. You want to hit that real quick, and then we'll do some newsies?
Just because I said, you said, hey, I'll take that sandwich you offered me before.
Yeah, and you said you wanted to get your steps in.
Yeah, so I'll go across the street to do that, and because that's the big thing nowadays, at least in my world.
Yeah, same. It has become in mine. So you actually have an Apple Watch, correct?
Yes.
Okay, I do not. But in the last, what is it today? Thursday, 2.5 weeks, I've rededicated myself to some type of old man fitness, because raising a little baby,
How old's your kid?
He's 3.5.
Okay.
He's old enough now. Not that I'm able to carve out some more time to be able to do that. And the best thing that I know that I can do for myself, two things that I love to do, is rowing and walking. And I've got a rower that I've had for years, and that's usually my go-to.
Love to row.
Love it. It's awesome. 30 minutes on that thing 4 times a week, it will shred you.
Even
It's
good with the bad back.
zero impact. There's
Really?
no impact. Yeah, it's great for your back. It's probably one of the best forms of complete total body exercise. I would recommend getting a rower at your house if you haven't already.
Just like Frank Underwood.
And I have one of those water rowers, and that was the inspiration to get one. Yeah, because I knew I wanted one. I was like, what is that thing with the water in it? And got a water rower. The problem is if you use them a lot, they do break down. So I've been waiting. I've been fixed.
Oh, there's Danny rowing.
Yeah, tandem rowing. I was live streaming it on Instagram last week with my friend Michelle. She's really good, as you can tell. See how tired I'm getting at the end?
Yeah, tired, but good workout.
But so I've been waiting on these parts to arrive so I can fix mine. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to start walking like 5 miles a day. Just go out for an hour and just knock it out. And I have been, but I'm like, I want to be able to calculate my stuff. So I got one of these cheap $50. It's basically a smartwatch is what they call them. It's not even linked to my phone. There's no app. It just retains everything on here, but it gives you your heart rate. It'll give you your oxygen level if you want to test your blood oxygen level. But the main thing is steps, distance, and calories. So I set goals in it. So I want to do 12,000 steps a day, burn 500 calories in whatever, 4 miles or 5 miles or whatever. And when you achieve these goals, your phone will vibrate. Your little watch will vibrate. So I've been really good about doing this every day. And I was always curious, how does it know every time you take a step?
Okay.
All right. And I guess I've learned.
Because we're saying if I just did this.
Yeah. If you just did this.
Does this mean I have 10 steps?
Yeah, it does. And I looked at that and it doesn't. Like you can see it counting. And if I do this.
If I just do this.
Yeah, if you're like.
Yeah, you're not getting credit for that.
You're not getting credit for that. Like it didn't move. I'm still for the day at 39:41. So this, it didn't work. This, it went up a step.
Really?
Because I got notified
Shooting
one
dice.
night that I had achieved my 12,000 step goal. While I was
Do you do that? You pleasure yourself with your watch hand?
I'm left-handed, dude, and I wear my watch on my left hand.
I thought if you're a lefty, you wear your watch in your right hand.
You do, but I've always worn my watch on my left hand. And much to my surprise, in the middle of cleaning the pipes at the crib one day,
It vibrated and
oh yeah,
we're ready.
Congratulations, you have reached 12,000 steps.
Well, that's
And
great.
Yeah, it kind of added to the fun.
So that was actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Just surprise you? Like,
Yes, it did. I was like, wait a minute.
quick
And I looked
try to
down
put
and I
it
was
around
like,
your
holy
stuff.
crap. Look at me. I hit my goal today.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
I don't know why I admitted to that.
Congratulations.
But I did.
That's why you got that Popeye arm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popeye by way of Kermit the Frog. Let's do some news.
Here's Jake with the Dumb Zone News.
Put
Danny.
that on TV, Channel 27.
That is more. We are like a night show.
I don't think we're in safe harbor, though.
What does that mean? You know what I heard about the Channel 27 thing?
Hmm.
I was talking to one of the suits over here.
Yeah?
And they said we not only kept but increased the audience.
All right.
Like their big key is the lead in.
Yeah.
You know, do you keep the audience that you were handed, and then does it grow? And I said, well, what does that mean? Like, does it like there were 6 people watching, and then there were 7? He said he just stayed vague because I tried to be a little self-deprecating there.
Mhm.
Nothing against more 27, but it was us. Like, who would want to watch us? But apparently,
people do.
Like double-digit people.
Hey.
Yeah.
How about that?
Back to you, Danny.
Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl, 55 years old. This came out a couple of days ago. Announced on Instagram that he has recently become a new father.
Congratulations.
Good for him, because I think he's already got 3 or 4 kids with his wife.
Big family man.
So here comes baby number 5, but unfortunately, he is having a baby daughter outside of his marriage. No details on who the mom is. I don't know if it's even necessarily important. But
Michelle.
yeah, it's Michelle. Yeah, he's having a kid. You know, no surprises there. At 55, I mean, look, I can relate.
Who
You know,
among us?
I get it. But yeah, this is he went to Instagram to announce this. Says, I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. So it's strange that he announces this after the child is born.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you wonder, was he part of this all along with this woman that he was having an affair with?
Or did she all of a sudden?
Did she just show up and say, "Hey, Dave,
I had this baby.
Remember that time that we hooked up 9.5 months ago? Well, here it is."
The baby came out he was able to play the guitar immediately. So then she was thinking, well, who? Oh yeah, Dave Grohl.
Yeah.
The baby could play the drum intro to Teen Spirit.
I just
Is Dave Grohl the drummer?
He was a drummer in Nirvana, but he's the lead singer and guitar player in Foo Fighters. But
okay,
that's the curious thing to me. It's like, look, I could see it if 3 or 4 months into the pregnancy, it's like she tells him, "Hey, Dave, I think I'm pregnant. I haven't been with anybody else. It's most likely yours." Or it could have been that, "Hey, I'm not claiming this until I know it for sure it's my daughter." That's probably what happened. Is the daughter was born, he took the paternity test and proved that it is in fact his girl, and it's like, well, I'm gonna. Good for him. Look, people have affairs all the time, but the fact that he's going to be supportive to this girl and be a good dad, I guess, as best he can be to this brand new daughter that he's having, and see how this works as some type of weird blended family situation with his current wife. I don't know, man. I think it'd be really hard for her to overcome the fact that he had a secret affair with this woman and had a child with her. But in this world that we live in, I think
he's Dave Grohl.
The progressive nature of how people can be sometimes in this day and age might be able to work together with this.
If you're gonna be married to Dave Grohl,
yeah,
you might know some of that stuff's happening.
Now, he was married previously, and I think their marriage ended as a result of his infidelity.
Yeah.
So he's got a track record of this stuff. But
again, he's a rocker.
But isn't she all bent out of shape about it? The wife?
Well, she probably made
the current wife.
Yeah.
She's probably the one that made him do this Instagram post.
I have no idea. I've not read anything.
There's no way he's doing this on his own.
On her.
I've just seen that she's no longer wearing her wedding ring.
Okay. Well, I mean, she's probably pretty freaking pissed.
Okay, but if he cheated to get to you, he's going to cheat on you.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. I think and they have been married a long time. I think since early 2000s, 2003 or 4, something like that. So they've been together a long time.
This dude's a rock star, man.
Yeah, and a guy's usually only as faithful as his options are.
Yeah, for sure. And you got this sweet house. You got a pretty nice life. Just let him do what he wants.
She bought her ticket. She knew what she was getting to.
Yeah.
You say let her crash. Locally, this is a wild-ass story. There's a pimp.
Oh, hold on. Robert's raising his hand.
Go ahead,
so
Robert.
Polite.
Yeah,
please.
look at him.
Did Deshaun Watson do this better than Dave Grohl?
What's that?
Deshaun didn't have a kid.
He didn't have a kid?
Yeah. Isn't he beating Dave Grohl?
So to speak.
As far as what, though? Did what better? I mean, he doesn't have anyone to cheat on, does he?
Well, but just
he knew where to
30 or
put
40
it.
women and no kid.
Yeah.
Well, 30 or 40 women that are claiming that he violated the law. I don't think Dave Grohl broke any laws,
That's
maybe
still
more,
only
maybe
alleged
moral
with
laws.
Sean Watson, though. It's alleged.
He admitted no guilt.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Browns owner's daughter signed off on him going to the Browns.
It's an odd question that I don't have an answer for, but what I do have is a story about a local pimp that is in a bunch of hot water, and he has been arrested and charged with numerous counts. This guy's name is Donald Robertson, 29 years old, and he is
29-year-old pimp.
29-year-old pimp, and he is arrested and charged with sex trafficking of a child, sex trafficking, multiple promotion of prostitution counts, criminal possession of a weapon, criminal sexual act, sexual abuse, and sexual misconduct, according to a release from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. Now, this arrest happened in New York, but this guy is from Dallas. He's a Dallas man, and what they're accusing him of that led to all of these charges, he forced 2 teenagers, one 17 and one 18, by traveling from Dallas to New York, forcing them into prostitution, beating them, and then having them tattoo his nickname on their faces. So after he gets to New York, he met these girls on Instagram. And
All right, that's where we draw the line.
The tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to get to the tattoo.
I think he violated the Mann Act because he went across straight lines.
100%.
State lines.
The Mann Act. But what happened here is he lured these two teenagers, a 17 and 18-year-old, via Instagram, got them from Dallas to New York, and after several days in New York, he took them. We'll get to that in a second. So, punched one of the girls in the face, pulled her hair, kicked her in the face, caused her to suffer a seizure, stabbed the other girl on the side of her body with scissors, and had to go to the hospital to be treated for an infection. Just basically was incredibly awful to these women. But the tattoo, he took them to a tattoo parlor in New York and had them put his nickname on their face. His nickname is Blue Cheese. There is no positive...
I got follow-up questions. Like, we need the origin of that.
Mm-hmm.
How did your nickname become Blue Cheese?
Before we go into the past, Dan, let's look into the future. There is no positive outcome of any of these things that happen to these young women. It's terrible. But in the future,
maybe a sponsorship?
They would be able to go to a restaurant and order their dressing without speaking.
Yeah.
That's the one positive thing.
So much time saved.
That could come out of this. You just point to the tat.
Ranch or blue cheese? Oh, blue cheese?
And if you look at your video screen, you just saw a picture of some blue cheese. Thanks, Rob, for adding to the story. Blue cheese. Now, Dan, you asked, how do we get to that nickname? Well, there was a guy in The Wire that was a gangster that had a lot of criminal activity. I believe he was played by rapper Method Man, right? And wasn't his nickname Cheese? Maybe this guy got it from that, but he just wanted to be a little sad. He's Blue Cheese.
Or maybe he works very dirty.
He's like the Lenny Bruce
Says bad words,
of pimps.
Yeah. I'm thinking this. Whoa. This really got me choked up.
Mm-hmm.
It is an opportunity, though, for Hidden Valley to step forward and become the heroes in this story.
By paying for the tattoo removal? They're more of a ranch dressing company, aren't they? I'm sure they do blue cheese, but yeah, but it's Hidden Valley Ranch.
How about Wishbone?
Yeah, Wishbone, they do salad. What about Paul Newman? It's a
Newman's Own?
shame he's no longer with us.
Newman's Own Blue Cheese will pay for your tattoo removal. Feel good story?
Uh-huh. Well, I hope this
Then
guy
we get
does.
him on YouPorn.
Hope this guy does lots and lots of time. You got time for one more?
Yes.
Let's do one more. We talked about this in the break with our good friend, our sit-in guest today, and yes, he was correct. The Dallas City Council has voted. They did this earlier yesterday to lower the speed limit on Central Expressway.
Uh-oh.
Lower it.
That's not good.
Because between Mockingbird
Higher.
and,
We need higher speed limit.
and Woodall Rogers, for the longest time, for several years, it's been 70 miles per hour. 70.
Between Mockingbird and downtown?
Yeah. I think it goes to 65 once you get north of Mockingbird. I think. I may be wrong. But yeah, from Mockingbird.
That's
going to
illogical.
downtown. What do you mean?
I mean, you're just going to be bottled up usually anyway. It should.
Well, that was their thinking. That was their thought process in raising it to begin with, is that it would, a faster flow of traffic would create less traffic jams.
Yeah.
But they've determined that and I think they're doing this, that the city council is doing this a lot because of the investigation that NBC5 did last fall. And the series was called Driven to Death, and they revealed that 18 people had died and 78 more seriously injured in speed-related crashes alone on Central in Dallas in less than 5 years. They said that the 70-mile-per-hour speed limit was unusually high for a freeway running into the heart of a major city. I get it once you get out where traffic gets less and less, but from coming right out of downtown, and I do it all the time, man, and when I get on 75 and I know it's 70, I am gunning it. And apparently a lot of other folks are too, because there's been people that have been clocked by NBC5 in one night. One of them reached 131 miles an hour on 75.
Wow.
Yeah. You guys remember when Rashee Rice was involved in that accident where I think 4 people got injured? His Lamborghini was going 119 when that went down.
Wasn't that the tollway too?
I thought that was on 35.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
75.
Was it on
It was
75?
75?
Okay.
Yeah,
All
it
right.
had the-
I'll be damned.
Raise your hand, Robert. No, I'm just kidding.
So if they think by putting the speed limit to 60 or 65, they'll
It's
go.
not going to change.
Oh, you know what? I was going to go 130 when I saw it was 70.
Yeah.
No, this is not going to
But
change.
this will deter my behavior.
It's not going to change a damn thing. Not a damn thing.
Get an extra $10 on the charge.
Think about when you're driving to Fort Worth from Dallas and it's 70 all the way up until right before Six Flags, and then they drop it to 60, and it's like, I don't want to go 60 now. I keep going 70.
Man, I really don't. Man, this is bad, but care about the speed limit unless I'm driving on the interstate, because that's what I'll set my cruise control at.
Yeah.
If it's at 70, then maybe I'll set it at 80.
Well, the
If it's
reason
65, then 75. But in the city, does this matter?
Well, it matters for this. The reason that they're going to do this
Man,
is
you never see Dallas cops pulling people over for speeding.
not a lot.
I would always think Dallas cops are busy doing. There's actual stuff going on.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're out in Grapevine,
They got nothing to do.
yeah, this is what their thing is.
Yeah. I'll see cops pull over people in set traps where they're there every
Dallas?
day. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, there's certain spots like in more not highways or freeways or whatnot, but in more like residential streets, because there's a need for that. There are certain areas where speeding is out of control and people are, dying and getting killed over, like, especially in my neighborhood. Ferguson Road is like the Autobahn between 635 and 30. But the reason they're doing this is because the number of speeding tickets written on Central Expressway for 3 years, from 19 to 21, they declined 70%. And you know what that means?
There's a pandemic in there.
There's a pandemic in there, but it also went down 30% compared to numbers before this. So you're including 2019 in there too. So it's not just all the pandemic. You got a whole year in there, and 70% is a lot to go down. So they're not making the revenue that they were before. So the reason they're doing this is they're going to go ahead and lower the speed limit, and what that does is it makes it a more expensive ticket now. And if you're going 30 miles over the speed limit, now if you're going 95, you can be arrested. Did you know that? If you're going 30 miles an hour over the speed limit, you can go to jail, and they'll impound your car.
I did not.
Yeah. So that's why they're doing this, is to
I made a mental note
to make to get more bread.
I don't want to say I've never done it, but
30 over?
Yeah, certainly I've done
That's
that
that's 100.
somewhere. It's pretty rare that I've ever hit 100. I haven't hit 100 in years.
Really?
Yeah. You?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get on the bush, man. It's open.
Just to see what the car will do.
I just want to get home. I'm bored.
Yeah, 100 though. That's one thing goes wrong and you're probably dead.
I often
just the survivability of a 100-mile-an-hour crash.
Often in my head, 88 is my limit because of Back to the Future. I don't want to be sent.
You don't want to go back?
No. I want to go to the future. I don't want to go to the past.
I've been out on the highway before and hit and just kind of not just zoned out driving and not realized how fast I was going and looked down and had my mind blown. And it was because the attention was brought to me by a buddy of mine who was riding shotgun with me, and he had fallen asleep in the car. We were driving back from Shreveport one day from a recording session, and he woke up and looked at me and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Slow down." And I looked down at my speedometer, and I was going 115 on I-20.
Dang.
And I thought I was going maybe 85, but there's no
job, dude.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Proud of you.
It is fun.
Really fun. I want to race,
I would
Daddy.
think I'd feel that. I would think it would be shaking if I'm going 115.
Well, the car was pretty
Even,
new, and it was
you get
fast.
Close to 90. Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like 10 years ago. I had a Volvo C30, one of those little hot hatch turbos. Woo, that thing smoked.
Your Bronco Sport from Prosper Ford? I bet it's a smooth ride at 115.
Yeah, absolutely. You can get that thing to 120, and you'll feel like you're just on ice, baby. Gliding.
I don't want to be on ice.
Smooth.
Feel the rush.
the dragon.
Hit the sounder.
I'm done with news.
The Dumb Zone News. Like and subscribe.
I have more. I just got tired of hearing my voice.
Hey, everybody. It's time to
Well, you're the only one, man. I love hearing your voice.
We can't wait to read the comments.
So what I'm doing here is burying birthdays kind of near the end of the show. We did some viewer mail earlier regarding 9/11. Do you remember that? Wasn't that good?
Totally.
But I got a lot of birthdays because we were away. Long weekend. We're back now and back on our reg sched, I think. And we will not be away again. We're not going to take those days off again. But we had to take days off for travel. Because that's the way we do it. We start with Anna Kay, who says it's Mike Epic's 38th birthday. Remember, he was in the den.
He was in Cleveland, too.
Yeah. Anna Kay and her husband, Pedro, came up from Atlanta to go to the Browns game. And they have a friend named Epic, which is sweet, isn't it?
Sorry, Rob's playing with the video.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Rob's doing his own show.
Well, we both are. We're going to branch off, do our own pod.
Mike Epic. His leaders are Jake, the Negro Leagues, the instability of the debate on whether FDR needed the blanket, and Provo Push. That's from Anna Kay. Is Provo Push kind of like
the Tush Push?
That sounds really dirty.
I thought it was like...
Is it Provo in
soaking.
Utah?
Oh.
You know what soaking is?
No.
It's the way I think Mormon students at BYU said they would remain virgins because they would not move around when they were doing it. They would...
You just let it soak.
Kind of get together, and then they're laying on the bed together, and then somebody's on the bed next to them jumping up and down, so it'll bounce the bed up and down, and that will bounce you, and then you're... But you're not... That's not like doing it. Look it up. Dear Tio Twat Taster.
Golly.
Tio.
Happy birthday to day one, number 371, Jay Schuler. He was an OG, didn't have to buy his way in. Let's see. He does something with government bankruptcy, holding him accountable or something. More Blake, the right amount of Dan, less Jake. Heil from Strobe. Uncle Hotmail, September 10th. The Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Sky Moore turned 24. He also wears number 24, so that would make it Sky Moore's birthday. From Jack. I guess just a fun fact. Which I think was very fun. Because he'll never have another one of those. Unless he changes his number next year.
Are fun facts ever actually fun?
Not that one.
I endorse it, Jack. I'm sorry. Uncle Hotmail, day 2, subby 1337, Business Wednesday is my Bill Bates birthday. My leaders are Blake and the MBR. More Soroy. Would you be pretty easy. We've had like zero Soroy.
Had zero Soroy.
Didn't you guys have him on for football picks? Is that your first time? Did he come on and do football picks?
No,
with
he
you
had
guys?
something come up.
Really? So how did he get his logged?
He had a bear trap.
He texted me. Texted the pics.
He
then.
texted his picks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where the rest of us are driving down to goddamn downtown.
That's right.
To get on here live with you guys or record with you guys, he texts you.
Well,
That's his level of commitment and participation.
You should have had a better severance package.
No shit. Well, you know what it tells me? They really wanted to get rid of his ass to pay him for a whole year.
Anyway, who is this Vince? I want a shout out for the big 4-0. All right.
Shout out.
DZ boys, please wish my amazing husband, Jason Coco, happy birthday on Tuesday. We're huge fans. Excited for all that is forthcoming in the Dumb Zone.
Wish I knew what that was.
Then she says, Jason, I hope your day is going good. I love you so much. From Crystal Coco. Ooh, there's a name for you. Nice hot name. Crystal Coco. Let's see. Hola, Senor Crack Spackler. Day 1 DF number 690. His number is 690.
Is that a new one? Have you heard that one before?
No.
Crack Spackler.
That's a unique.
That's pretty good.
Thomas from Alito here, wishing fellow DF Jace Walker happy Sean Kemp birthday. His leaders are Dan Balls Balis, the Pole Assassin, and Shower Beers. Let's see. If you're looking for a subject matter expert on Jake's horse racing proclamation in the state of horse racing, Jace owned a horse in the Derby last year. Would be happy to clear up any misconceptions.
Okay, thank you.
Hashtag KDWYDPBACTM from Thomas. Uncle Hotmail, I want to wish my brother-in-law Justin happy 39th. He is also the biological brother of the Detroit Symphony Orchestra DF Brandon.
Nice. Good dude.
This is from Jack. Yeah, we had a guy in Cleveland drive there from Detroit, and he was in the Detroit Symphony. That's what he does for a day job.
And he listens to this?
Or I guess it's a night job. Does a symphony ever play during the day?
Oh, yeah. For
sure.
They
do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And he listens to the DZ?
Yeah.
The symphony person.
The symphony guy.
That's awesome.
He made fun of me for liking Lindsey Sterling.
Why?
She's not a real orchestra player. I don't know.
Orchestra player.
She doesn't play a real violin.
Dear Fuhrer Fur Mower. September 11th, it's my birthday. I was not woken up in a special way. I'd like to hear William Pace serenade me. Blake, Dan, Danny are my leaders. Please bring back a Jake bragging montage from Al Costante. He is DF number 7887. Do we have that many subscribers?
You're up to 78?
Happy birthday to you.
That's great.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to the Dumb Zone. Happy birthday to you.
Do you count the number of subscribers that unsubscribe after that audio plays? I was just curious.
I don't know anything about genetics. I don't know if people talk enough about how weird the life and career of Ben Affleck has been. I don't tweet really at all. I got an email from a lady the other day. I had to go to like a meet the teacher thing last night. I have an
Okay,
uncle.
they're back. All right, fuck it, I'm resigning.
Okay.
Greetings and salutations, Slit Liquor.
My God.
Anyway, this is a really long email.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to read it all.
Seems like you read the good part.
Yep.
My leaders are Jake's transgender 5-figure cat.
How did it become transgender?
Dan's Holger. Mel. It is my Deuce Vaughn minus J-Ron Curse birthday. Less Jake, less Dan. If you ever need a semi-knowledgeable expert on the 2004 to 15 Toyota Prius and similar hybrid battery mechanic, I can't read. Anyway, he says, Blake, the Mach-E is a great car. I highly recommend it.
Okay, thank you. Still thinking about it.
Blake's thinking about going electric. He's already got the solar panels.
Mm-hmm.
He also says, Blake, Woodrow Wilson, Jesus.
What is going on?
I don't know.
You need a drink?
Need some.
You need some Arrowhead?
I think I only have 2 hours of talking in me, and we've passed that.
Sailed past.
Did Lone Star not send you a sixer? You drink beer now, I hear.
That's a sweet hat, too.
Woodrow Wilson mascot.
Great hat.
Oh.
He says it's the school of 2 Heisman Trophy winners.
Don't know it.
I'm waiting on that $50K Kamala promised to small business owners from Angel. You don't know the Woodrow Wilson
Yeah, girl,
mascot.
I'm out here in these streets.
Mm-hmm.
That's sad.
I know it.
All right, now.
The Dumb Zone presents
Where is
Today in History.
They're getting a lot of bang for their buck on today's sode.
Who?
The subscribers.
Danny's tired of being here.
Oh, you want to leave?
No, I don't want to leave. I'm just saying.
Well, we started late.
This is a longie.
Because we were waiting for Robert.
Don't make him feel bad.
I know, I'm just messing around.
Freaking Robert.
If you need me to start your show, you got problems.
Effing Robert.
Robert.
Just holding us back. Can you imagine the heights we'd be at without Robert?
Shocking.
We'll be on our way home.
Today is Thursday, September 12th. On this particular day in 1962, in a speech at Rice University in Houston, President John F. Kennedy reaffirmed his support for the manned space program, declaring, "We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard."
What other things?
Pretty vague on the other things. This is the day in 1999, the reason that you heard Drew Carey during the break, because the Browns returned to the NFL after a nearly 4-year absence. So it's kind of a yay boo, because, yeah, the Browns are back.
Yeah.
Then they lost 43-0 to the Steelers. Had their fewest net yards in a game since 1950, the Browns' first year of existence. They were outgained in total yards 460 to 40. Can you imagine that game?
Total yards?
Total yards.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm sorry, did you say 1999?
Yes.
Wow, that's more recent than I thought.
This is when they came back.
Yeah.
When they first came back.
How long were they gone?
4 years.
Why did they leave?
Yeah, they just wanted to.
Just wanted to not be a team anymore?
Probably just didn't want to be in Cleveland.
Because Art Modell moved the team to Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So they went 4 years without a team.
Right.
Okay.
It was all a scam, because a guy from Baltimore who could never get an expansion team, he got the Cleveland expansion. And then they had a new stadium in Baltimore. They got a new stadium in Cleveland. They sold PSLs.
Yeah, I knew all that.
It's a big scam.
I just think it's Cleveland. I mean, how do you go 4 years in Cleveland without an NFL team?
The Steelers had 32 first downs, Cleveland 2. Deshaun Watson got set first down number 2 Sunday with like 11 minutes left in the third quarter. Because it was fun just looking at that on the scoreboard all game.
What protocol did they have to go through to rebuild their team when they came back? I mean, is it like an expansion draft?
It was a full expansion draft,
okay.
Yeah.
And did anybody else come back into the league with them at that time? Like when Seattle and Tampa came into the same year, like what was it, 76 or 7? Or was it just them? Did they add something to the NFC?
I'm trying to think. I think it was just them, which seems pretty wheels off if you would have an odd number of teams in the NFL. There's really no way to know. That's one of the great mysteries of the NFL and their storied
thing
past.
in front of me. I'm not sure what it
No,
does.
there's no way. They ran 88 plays. Cleveland ran 28. On the ground, Cleveland did some damage. They gained 9 rushing yards all game. 9 yards. Can you imagine your fantasy team? Anyway. And on this day in 2008, a commuter train in Los Angeles struck a freight train head-on, killing 25 people. Apparently, the commuter train engineer, Robert Sanchez, he was among those who died.
That makes sense since he's the first guy on the damn train.
He was texting.
No.
And missed like a red light. Apparently they have a red light on the train track.
Really?
And it says he was texting. And on this very day in 1953, then Senator JFK married Jacqueline Bouvier. But my point in bringing that up is, remember, on this day in 1962, he was giving a speech about the moon and stuff. So she was like, oh, can we go out for our anniversary? He's like, you know what I do? I've got to give a speech on the moon. About the moon. Not on the moon, honey. We haven't been to the moon yet. But we're going to be there.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be alive to see it.
That's right. Today's birthdays. I could have used this for the open. Thom Brenneman is 61.
Oh, man. How's he?
I think he's back, like announcing something.
Did you see
XFL or something?
Did you see Castellanos' homer yesterday?
Yeah. Like the list of he homers during tragedy announcements.
Stock market crash or a death or a
on
eulogy.
9/11.
Yep.
Andrew Luck is... How old do you think Andrew Luck is?
33, 34.
Okay.
Yeah, about my age.
Rob says 2.
Early 30s.
32? 42. I'm surprised. He's 35. I thought he was much older. He's only 35.
No, he should still be playing.
And he's been gone for...
a long time.
Yeah. Yao Ming, 44. Freddie Freeman, today's War Games winner by a mile. 60.4 War Game, 35. Freddie Freeman, same age. Actress Linda Gray is 84.
J.R. Ewing's wife on Dallas, I believe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actor Joe Pantoliano is 73.
Joey Bats.
From The
Joey
Sopranos.
Pants. Yeah. He got his rug ripped off when Tony killed him.
And The Matrix. Nina Blackwood is 72.
MTV.
Ben Folds, 58.
I'm a fan of The Five.
Okay. Louis C.K., 57.
Uncanceled.
Is he out there?
Yeah, I went to see him a couple years ago.
Did he do stuff about being canceled, or
when he first came back after disappearing for about a year? Yes, he did.
did he do anything about his hog? Wasn't that his bit?
Yeah, he would
fire out his hog.
Yeah.
In a
well, he
room?
would ask permission first,
and then they'd be like, all right.
I guess, yeah. But the problem is these were female comedians that really looked up to him and were trying to get into the business. So he had this kind of unspoken power to be able to get away with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how all that happened. Because he's like, well, I mean, I asked, you said it was cool. It's like, yeah, but come on. My inner voice is saying no. My
Blake
outer
didn't
voice
mind
is saying,
it.
I guess.
Blake is cool with it.
But yeah. He addressed it
when
a
I
little
first
bit.
met Blake. 2 Chainz, 47. Whoa. Alfie Allen is 38.
Opie and Anthony and Alfie? Who's Alfie?
Says here, Theon Greyjoy.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
I know you're stoked on Game of Thrones.
I love Game of Thrones. I thought the recent season of House of the Dragon was a beating.
Yeah, I
didn't love it.
I just never got into Game of Thrones overall like
Really?
you guys did.
What'd you think of the season 2 of
I haven't
Dragon?
done House of Dragon.
Yeah, never. You didn't even start it in season 1.
No, I got really into the Game of Thrones. Like, I read the books.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to write another book.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm just kind of waiting. But I got really into it.
It's fun. I've watched. I've run through it a couple times, and I love it.
And Sydney Sweeney is 27.
Sydney's weenie.
Sydney's weenie. Born on this day, now dead, Jesse Owens. Cleveland great, who they treated awesome when he came back from the Olympics. And Paul Walker. Oh, I'll do this one for you. Neil Peart.
Drummer
Oh,
of Rush,
man.
yeah.
He had a pretty impressive kit around him.
Yeah. He had a lot of drums, Dan. Lots of
How do you know
drums.
something about Neil Peart? I brought this up because Danny's sitting here. I would never have brought it up.
He's largely considered one of the greatest rock drummers of all time. It would not be uncommon for a layperson
Very
to know
very
who
mainstream.
he is. Yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
It's like saying Eddie Van Halen almost.
You're right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Good
well,
job
sorry
there.
you're dead, dude.
Good
Then
job there,
dead on
Mr.
this,
Crack Spackler.
dead on this day, still dead. We have David Foster Wallace, who wrote Infinite Jest.
Have you ever read it?
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Well, yeah, that's generally what you do with a book.
It's so big.
It is.
And I've heard it's really confusing, and you have to be incredibly smart to read it. I've got a copy of it at my house, and I look at it every day.
I had to
and
go.
I think maybe
there
one day I'll
were
get to this.
A couple times I'd read a couple pages and then go back and have to read those couple pages again. But, you know, it's kind of like the spring break trip I took on a bus when I was in college. We went from Columbus, Ohio. I had to get there at 6 a.m., take a bus ride down to whatever it was. Not Fort Lauderdale, but one of those. Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm really happy I did it, but I wouldn't want to do it again. Like, I'm really happy that I went through the book, and I will think about it, and it's...
What is the point of it, though? Is it enlightening? Is it funny? Is it just a historic, beautiful piece of art that you should take in? I bought a copy, like I said, I bought a copy of it years ago.
It's
and
more
I
of a...
keep meaning to read it, and I just...
look at society as a whole, and... I don't know. I know if I'm going to try and say something about it, then I'm going to get a lot of people telling me how I just didn't get it and I got it wrong, and I'm now...
Well, that's not for them to decide.
Yeah, but...
He's trying to tell you it sucked.
I liked it. I'm very happy I did it. You know what? I might take that whole spring break thing back. I might read it again sometime.
Okay.
See if I can take in different stuff.
It's just one of those books.
But it is one of those books
Yeah.
that I always have read. It's on everybody's top 5 list. You know,
Yeah.
It's always one of the great books of the 20th century and all that. And so it's like, okay, I did the same thing. I owned it for 10 years before I bought it.
I've had it probably 10
because
years.
it's so big and just looming.
Yeah.
And then one summer I was like, you know what? I'm just going to read it. And
Yeah.
it took me months.
Okay. I don't think it's something I'd want to do on tape either. I need to actually put the eyes on the paper.
Boy, I've never done a book on tape.
I've done it, and I don't love it. I much prefer to have the analog version in my hand. I don't like reading on Kindle or phone or anything like that. On occasion, depending on the book, you know what I will do a book on tape if it's a biography narrated by the person it's about. Like if you wanted to read Obama's biography and he's voicing it, then I think that's pretty cool. So I've done those a couple of times, but for the most part, I want the actual page-turning experience and be able to stick it on your bookshelf when you're done.
If you listen to a book on tape,
Mm-hmm.
can you mark it off your I read it list on my books I've read? Like, do you have an app that says...
I guess you can. Seems like a little bit of a shortcut. Slight cheating, maybe?
Yeah, I say no. Which our buddy Blind Josh is very upset about.
Okay. Well, there are exceptions.
No. There are not exceptions. The rule is the rule. And I say he hasn't read a book.
Oh,
in
so you're
years.
saying that he needs, hey.
He has not. He
hey,
has to.
Blindy,
he
get
has
out
to
your
get
Braille.
a Braille book.
Yeah, okay. I see where you're going.
And do this for,
Uh-huh.
as long as I'm sitting there reading a book. That's how long it would probably take.
Is he good at Braille?
One of the best.
You don't even know, do you?
I have zero idea if he's ever... there's no way he knows any Braille at all.
Really?
Yeah, we are pretty sure he can kind of see.
Kind of like Stevie Wonder?
Yeah, just there's a lot of people are talking about Blind Josh and whether or not he's just been pulling a fast one on us.
Well, he used to...
Kind of like Chief in...
But this was a degenerative... His vision loss was a degenerative thing that's kind of increasingly got worse.
I mean, so he said.
Is that right? Because I remember
he
him 20 years ago, and he seemed like everything was fine.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden he's like, oh no, I can't see. Give me government benefits. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
But it does get you to the front of the line.
Does get you to the front of the line. Great for
With
you
that
invite him
stick.
along for parking.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Front of the line for the Dr. Phil show. that you
That's
went to?
right. Yeah, we went to the Dr. Phil show.
Oh, can we talk about that tomorrow, or did you already talk about it?
I don't know. Like 8 months ago when we went, we talked about it.
I haven't heard
I'll
it.
talk about it again.
You think I subscribe to this shit?
No.
What's wrong with you? I just watch the free clips on YouTube.
Anyway, Dead on this Day, it's David Foster Wallace. We have Ray Dolby. Dobley?
Dobley. Is he the guy that invented the
Dolby
sound system?
noise reduction system. And died on this day in 2013, Herman Bockelman. He won the Dallas Observer 2005 Best DJ in Dallas.
What's he go by?
Herman Bockelman.
Like that's his DJ name?
I met him and I once had dinner with him. Because I was obsessed with Herman Bockelman. He had a radio program on KAAM 770 AM. Where in the early 2000s.
Okay, you just completely threw me off. Because
And it was every Friday night, and it was like called Europe Today.
When you said DJ, I immediately thought of like Daft Punk and some guy with
okay.
tables. I'm like, what?
Well, no,
Radio
it was the Dallas Observer.
I
In
got
fact, the Reader's Choice that year, I just looked this up this morning, was Kid Craddock.
Mm-hmm.
And Herman Bockelman, though, won the Observer's Choice of Best VJ. And he was just, he was just wild. He had a wild, thick European accent, and German guy. Did you know Herman Bockelman? Or you knew of him? Video Man is sometimes Audio Man.
I know. I have to take my headphones off because I'm in delay with you boys. Yeah, he's a cool guy. He's like, he had like a German show or something like that, and I think he did mornings on KAAM, and then he worked. You remember Hugh Beavers?
Yeah.
He worked with him over at KAAM. But yeah, great dude.
Hugh Beavers was the engineer over there.
Yeah. Old Herman Bockelman. I was trying to remember who that was.
I didn't know he did a morning show. I just knew him as a Friday evening, driving around on
maybe
Friday
that's
night.
what it was. Yeah. He
Ready
had
to
a
go
long
out.
time show, though.
We'd
He'd been
happen
on the
upon
air.
Herman Bockelman.
Did he play music or did he just talk?
Yeah.
It was mainly German music, if I remember right?
Yeah, polkas.
Yeah, and he had this big, really big, thick German accent, and he was really boisterous, and he was hysterical.
He was awesome. Yeah, I met him.
How did he end up here?
I don't know.
You never know,
Well, you had dinner with him. I thought maybe you would have asked that.
But then,
that would have been question number, I don't know, 2?
Like I had dinner, me and my wife had dinner with him and his wife.
Uh-huh.
At some place. It was like a supper club.
Still swap?
We did not swap.
Did you want to?
Swap the strudel?
I always want to. If you're out with me and you see me with my wife, you don't even have to ask. You're in. Don't even care what you got to offer. It's just not this. Not this thing that's sitting next to me.
Oh, my God. What the fuck?
We've driven this around the block enough. Let's try this one. It's all rusty, but let's just see if it works.
I love 1992 Dan. There's nothing better.
That was Today in History.
That's why you pony up the money each month, folks, is for that.
See all the stuff you've been missing? So now we're at the point of the program, Robert, what we call, you want to tell Danny? Do you know what we call it? This is closing remarks, my friend.
I thought it might be a little more creative than that.
Oh.
The name.
Wow.
Taking shots.
Jeez, this guy, first of all, he rolls in whenever he feels like it.
In a Wang jersey.
Mm-hmm.
In a Well, that's a nice move.
That's a tribute.
The Wang Juju. So did you buy that Wang?
Oh, way back.
Right when
he went to the Clippers. I saw an opportunity. Clearly, at least one other person thought it was funny.
The Clippers?
Was that on a clearance rack?
Yeah, didn't he? He wouldn't go back to China,
Mm-hmm.
so Donnie cut him, and he went to the Clippers.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think so, but yeah, it was on clearance. It was triple XL.
Like what? $15?
Yeah.
Robert has
Really long.
Robert's our sit-in today. he has emailed us, and he was one of the first guys even to email us when we hit the.
I was going to ask you about that.
Hit the streets. You were going to ask me what?
About this.
If I knew?
My question was, did Dan listen to me?
Well, you clearly know I didn't.
Yes, I do. I just thought this should make the air.
Because one of your points, he's like business guy. He knows things about the world.
Yeah.
Started companies, and I have named them.
In fact, though, I think the problem is, had you emailed us this, we hadn't announced things when we said we have to name this, we're going to start doing it, and then we'll figure it out as we go. But he has like a 7 bullet-pointed email here on some business advice, which I effing love. I love it.
I spent so much time deciding whether this would just end up as the Ticket Hitler letter.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jake didn't read any of this stuff, but I was reading all of it.
Okay.
I didn't pay attention to all of it, but I didn't get this one until after. It just says, he's giving us tax advice, bank account advice, setting up a business advice. It's great. But number 5, bullet point. In fact, he bolded this one. It says, I know you want to be creative in naming your company. Don't name it anything that would jeopardize your credibility in a courtroom. This is act like your mom is watching Principal. And in fact, we were once in a courtroom.
No.
Where they had to bring up a couple of uncomfortably named things. I think the Dumb Zone, one, and I can't remember some of the other stuff.
Oh, I was thinking about Dumb Zone 69. I don't know whether you actually
Captain
did that.
Crack Spanker or
Yeah,
one of
I
those
don't know that
nicknames?
none of those got brought up that particular day, but
Yeah, I was pretty sure that would be discarded with a little bit of humor. And I would have been made fun of for writing that letter. But
sounds to me like it was quite helpful.
well, no, a lot of the other stuff really was. A lot of partnership agreements and yeah, it's good stuff. No, I still don't understand it all.
So you
stuff
come
I
up with
learned the hard way.
You come up with names for companies, and
you have to, if you're going to have separate entities, you have
but that's
to name
like a
it something.
specialty of yours.
No,
Oh.
no, I run a fund, and if you're going to have separate companies, you have to come up and name them.
Right.
The other cool thing is, like, you think like president is something. In your agreement, you're going to lay out what the offices are. So it could be president, or you could name it El Guapo. Whatever you do, you just have to say this is what the president can do. So that at one point, I did have to explain why I was not the president. I was El Guapo.
Oh, you had to in court?
Well, not in court, but I did have to explain it.
To
To
like
serious
somebody
people.
who wears a suit.
To serious people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did
So
they-
your bit guy
Did they find it to be humorous?
masquerading
They didn't
as
find it humorous as I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're a
the
bit
case.
guy masquerading as a business guy in the real world.
Essentially.
But they just don't all know.
Yeah. Well, what's the
That you're
last thing I wrote in that email about why I have to do that?
I don't know, man. It's a long email.
It basically says, I think something along the lines of, "Hey, all the stuff you're talking about is about
okay.
how you're going to get to your people. You can replace that. The one thing you can't replace is you. And that's why I don't have a radio show."
Yeah. You did show humility there. Otherwise, I'd have a radio show instead of a hedge fund.
Yeah, true.
Do you think there's other reasons why you don't have a radio show, or that's just the only one?
The fact that I can't do what you guys do.
Anybody can.
Anybody can do this.
Well, then what are the other reasons?
I think I'd rather have a hedge fund.
Give me the freaking hedge fund.
Yeah, I'll trade you.
Yeah, I don't think I'd rather have one because
I'm not kidding.
I don't know what it is, and
You
I'm
and I
sure
will
I'd
talk.
drive it into the ground.
Well, that's what I do to a radio show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Same.
Let's keep doing our bits.
Well,
But
none
we'll
of
just
us are
wear
on
our,
radio, so
our
I mean,
Wang
or whatever.
jerseys on our own time. So, closing remarks. Do you have anything?
Thank you for being so welcoming. It's not a bit for all of you who don't get to come here. I appreciate it. I am sorry to be late. For the record, I did call, and I figured you could handle this without me. It's a reasonable assumption, right?
Yeah, we got started.
So I am sorry. I have a couple of questions. What is Sturm and Drang?
Sturm and Drang.
Drang. Okay, what is it?
I think it's a phrase. It's an archaic phrase. Sturm.
I believe it's
and
German.
Drang. It means like
It's like thunder and lightning or something. Isn't it something about a storm?
It's something about music. It's music. It's like a It says here, Sturm und Drang, let's see, what does that say? Romantic movement in German literature and music that occurred between the late 1760s. Blah, blah, blah. It's something old. It's a movement in art and music. Sturm und Drang.
Something Mike Reiner
Sturm und
once
Drang.
heard and then said.
Yeah. Sturm und Drang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Second is a request. The second thing that made me fall in love with Dan McDowell, the first being the dinosaur poo-poo bit. And the thing that made me fall in love was the way you delivered it. I had some sense for it. I almost had kids because I thought it was really fun. So that's awesome. But the second thing is Dan's video about him reclaiming his eligibility for Pee Wee football in Cleveland, which you can Google it if you don't, but at some point you got to play it, for whatever it's worth. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, we can play that.
More info, Sturm und Drang. It translates to storm and stress, and it's become a generic synonym for turmoil.
Yeah, that's appropriate.
That makes more sense than the other definition.
Yeah. So I don't know whether you want to talk about this. So if you don't. Is that the thing that was you being, quote, mean to the kids and got you in trouble in Cleveland? You don't have to answer. I get it.
No, I'll answer. Yeah, whatever. You're mixing up a few stories. That didn't get me in trouble at all. That was a bit that I did for a midnight movie. They let us host one movie. Like, I don't know if you ever had one of these guys in Dallas that just hosted crappy movies, but they would just do bits in between in commercial breaks.
MST 3000?
Okay.
That was British.
So, yeah, I grew up and there was like a guy who did that on the weekends, and then I always wanted to like host a crappy movie show and then just do skits in between, and one of the skits in between was that, and that was like in Youngstown for Youngstown TV. You're thinking even previous to that, I was a play-by-play announcer in Athens, Ohio, which is where Ohio University is, but this is after I had graduated college, left, come back to be the Athens Bulldogs play-by-play guy / sales guy throughout the day. And part of my play-by-play duties was hopping on the FM station in the morning to deliver a sports report. And I reported that morning that tonight Athens is taking on the scummy Trimble Tomcats. They were just a local team that Athens was going to play. This is in a very depressed area, a very deliverance-type atmosphere where you would have a lot of inbreeding and just very poor people. And Trimble especially was known as, like, this is all a toilet, but this is like the especially bad part. And one of the moms from Trimble got upset, called our station manager, said I was degrading their fine citizenship of Trimble, and enough so that I got suspended from that night's game. And if I wanted to keep my job, I was told I had to apologize to the team in person. So this was before a basketball game. So it was like a Friday. So Friday, I'm not going to now broadcast the game. I don't get to do that. It's the only thing I wanted to do. And because my goal was to be a play-by-play announcer. That was my long-term goal. Baseball play-by-play is what I really wanted to do growing up. And so I had to go into the locker room before this big game against Athens. And so now here's me, 20-whatever years old, thinking how ridiculous this is. Like, I wasn't looking at the socioeconomic. They're the scummy. They're just our rival.
The hated.
You're a play-by-play guy yourself.
It's the scummy swine of Bobcats. Of
yeah,
course.
you hate them.
Yeah, rivals. That's what it's all about.
So like you could have said hated whatever they were, and you would have been fine. But
this
because
bag might have called in anyway. But so anyway, so now I'm apologizing, and none of these kids, like, no one listened to the local
Sports
radio
report.
station, and no one knew. No one had any idea about all this happening. But I have to apologize in person to the kids.
Had they not been scummy, she wouldn't have been offended.
These kids are 16, 17 years old. I'm not even a decade older, so I'm 23 or whatever. Like, all right, so yeah, hey, I'm sorry. I mean, one of your moms, I mean, it's, you probably know what she's like. And I don't know. I apologized.
Kind of.
And then I got fired.
You should have rolled on it.
You got fired for your apology?
I got fired? No, I just got fired anyway.
Yeah.
Like, had I known I was going to be fired, I would not have gone to do the apology.
But your dream was to do PBP, and I'll be damned, you were going to jump through whatever hoops it meant to achieve that goal, right?
Yeah.
If it meant apologizing to
So it was not the video.
16-year-olds.
But you weren't sure you were going to be able to put that headset on again.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had his moment.
All right. Finally, this won't buy me anything with that, but I'd like to defend DumbZone Reddit, which I am a small contributor, and it won't stop them from destroying me.
Uh-huh.
My opinion is that DumbZone Reddit provided the DumbZone with a lot of leverage in legal proceedings, because they could post things and do things that you couldn't have asked. And somewhere along the way, the local people had to tell the Atlanta people, hey, look, we're not getting away with this. There's a cost to this, even if we can afford the money. Whatever goodwill is worth, and whatever being a big jerk and everybody knows it is worth, I can certainly, you couldn't have asked for it and you couldn't have done it, but the Reddit people did it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I also think they understand that the 690 guys, they get that the 690 guys, we're their Caitlin Clark. Like, if you guys like the leg room, just, otherwise you'd be hearing commercials for Extends. That's the way I look at it.
That's a good point.
You can skip us. We're fine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, thank you. This is cool.
All right.
That's all I got.
There's Robert.
I'm sorry, I was trying to text the Dan video to Rob and see if we could just play it now, watch it together at the end of the show. Any chance of that, Rob, or just search it on your computer? Dan McDowell, 1997? Or would that take forever?
No, give me a second.
All right.
So who do you think's going to win tonight?
I shouldn't have done that, right? You want me to just check out?
No. I want to see the video, but I do. So what do you mean exactly? DumbZone Reddit was able to do things that, or say things that they couldn't say. I didn't really follow that or understand it in a way that I would like to have.
Well, they posted the transcript.
The transcripts were big. Yeah.
Okay.
They were able, even if it was...
Which was public, you could access that.
Yeah, but not everybody is going to screenshot and highlight the way.
You got to spend $2,000 to get you can't just, they don't just give the transcripts away.
Yes.
But you can go find them on...
You have to pay about $2,000 for somebody to transcribe it.
And somebody did, and put the transcript in the Reddit.
And that was big. Because it may not cost them money that they care about to do this, but when somebody's on there saying, I don't know what the fan is, and somebody's saying, well, wait, I don't know what it is. Well, did you consider doing it anyway? That's a lawyer not thinking about the question that just answered. Well, no, I didn't think about what I didn't know.
The transcripts were huge.
Yeah. And then
they
you
were
have
fascinating to me.
Even if
I
they're
read
amateur lawyers.
so much of them.
I mean, I did too. Even if people are amateur lawyers and they're wrong, you still have a lot of people talking about it. That's in public. Everybody reads that.
It's funny in reading a lot of those transcripts and some of the key players that were involved and seeing how they spoke under oath. Like, yep, that fucking checks out.
I mean,
that
they were
all
doing
tracks, man.
They were doing things they wouldn't have wanted their mother to see. And when they published, and you couldn't have done that. If you'd done that, you would have been, you'd have been answering questions about disparagement and everything else.
Yeah.
But so I think they gave some form of leverage to you. So
you want some credit?
No, not me. I am a small user.
Oh.
And look, they're gonna. I'm not going to go read whatever they say about me today. I mean, I get it, but they get a bad rap. They did. I mean, it's a group of like-minded people who cared very much about you guys and actually served a purpose. My opinion.
That's a good point.
I love it. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Now, that's not going to help me with.
That's huge.
But whatever. It's true.
And I think all that vamping right there got us that video ready. So, yeah. So this is, again, we did a we did a midnight movie or something, and they let us film like little bits in between. You know, in the commercial break, we would throw it to a bit, and so this is one of them.
Just 2 short years ago, Struthers football was dealt a devastating blow as 2 failed school levies temporarily put an end to high school football in this Youngstown suburb. But now the winning program is back on track, and all is well with football in Struthers. Or is it? Dan McDowell, 6'3", 240 pounds, 28 years old. Also the newest and biggest member of the Little Wildcats of Struthers. On May 18, 1997, McDowell won a Supreme Court ruling that allowed him to play out his final 2 years of eligibility in Pee Wee football. To the chagrin of many parents and those 10 to 12-year-olds he opposes, McDowell will now suit up for his new team, the Struthers Little Wildcats.
I was 10 years old. My coach had me playing defensive tackle, although I'm a natural linebacker. So I'm lined up against this huge guard, a big mother. 135 if he was even a pound. He comes barreling in on me, rolls into my knee. That's it. Done. I thought I'd never play the game again.
18 years and 100 pounds later, McDowell, who now holds the record for being redshirted, attempts to make his comeback. We talked to Wildcat coach Joe Martin about his newest superstar and those who oppose him. Now, Coach, you've been taking a lot of heat over Dan McDowell here. Who are the people and what have they been saying?
Well, it's basically everybody out there. We have taken a lot of heat to the fact that Dan is not attending any classes at the elementary school. But on the other hand, I challenge anyone to check his academic record because he does have average grades in art and long division. He has above average in gym.
Now, Coach, what kind of influence is he on the kids?
Well, I don't think he's a very bad influence. A lot of the parents are saying that he's a bad influence, but I haven't seen anything like that.
Kids had a dip.
Plus, a lot of his parents and the other kids are saying he's too big. I prefer to say he's too mean.
Dan, you've been retired longer than these kids have been alive. Why now?
Well, I've been working out regularly, you know, jogging, little Nautilus, free weights, the bike, you know. And my wife said to me, you know, you look great. You're in the best shape you've been in years, and you really love football. If you want to do the comeback, I am behind you 100%. And it just went from there. I decided I'd do it.
Why this level?
You know, in 1978, when I had the injury, I was devastated. I was crushed. And I was playing for the Little Demons at that time, I think. My career ended in Little League, and I decided to pick it up where I left off.
Because of your size and girth, aren't you kind of concerned you're going to injure one of these little kids?
Well, I don't want to hurt or intimidate anybody. I just want the respect that I think I deserve. The respect that I didn't get back in Little Demons football.
Start blocking, you big galoot! Watch number 15!
Dustin, how do you feel about having Dan McDowell on your team?
I don't mind the pain, and the bruises go away in a week anyway. He buys me cigarettes and porno.
His detractors say he's a weekend warrior, a bully. His supporters say he's just trying to finish what he started on the sandlots of Cleveland. But if you ask the man himself, he'll tell you he's in it for one reason: the love of the game of football. For Channel 33 Sports Extra, I'm Dave Denholm.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Genius.
Long bit, too. Long bit.
It just seems like a backhand, a little mixed messages.
Just saying, it's a lot of entertainment. That just
I did notice your jersey number. That bit's been going on a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Well, thanks for coming, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Adios, mofo.
We gotta go before this becomes a zoo.
Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe and type for my name if you want to watch more of my videos.